Champ now. Yes, I didn't see him. What are you looking so sad about, Champ?
I'm surprised. I'm really insulted. That's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talking. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, one time in my career, I was on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
Well, you'd be on the tour. Oh.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Miss Cass, BBO Sports TV, Crush the Legend, all things. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Historian. Today, the life and career of Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol the Truth Spence Jr. has the family today. It's Friday, time for the profile, and it's the first Friday, so we're going to take a look at an active boxer. Every first Friday of the month is an active boxer. Errol the Truth Spence today. Salute all things. Good to see you in the building. Appreciate you. Al Booger in the building. What's up, Al Booger? Yeah, we're going to look at Errol the Truth today. At his life and career. Hopefully we're going to get Errol back in there soon. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? How are you today? Always good to see you. Yeah, we're going to talk about the truth. But first, we got to get our fight of the day and our classic fight. But yeah, we're at Friday. I think we had a card last night. I think it's 3 cards tonight and 1 tomorrow. And then, you know, when Monday starts, the big fight week, Canelo and Bud. It's almost all over but the shouting. Okay? I still got Canelo by decision. But we are going to see very soon. A week and a half, we're going to be talking about what happened. Okay? But it's appreciate everybody in the building today so far. And let's get into our fight of the day, so we can get this thing started. So now, without further ado, the fight of the day. Okay, the fight of the day today is Larry Holmes versus Michael Spence 1. September 21st, 1985. Holmes versus Spence 1. All right. In March of 1985, heavyweight champion Larry Holmes scored a 10th round stoppage of undefeated contender David Bay, and then immediately announced that he was done, as in finished, retired, no longer the king of the heavyweights. But we all know he didn't mean that. That's it, he said, after adding consecutive win number 47 to his flawless record. It was his 19th straight championship victory since taking the WBC belt from Ken Norton way back in 1978, adding to the longest uninterrupted streak of title wins for a heavyweight champion since Joe Louis. But Louis was not the legendary figure from the past fight fans were thinking about at that time. Instead, Holmes 47-0 had people thinking about 49-0 and the late great Rocky Marciano. Yeah, Holmes was right up on that record. You know, why would he quit then? Okay. So everybody knew he really wasn't. Larry Holmes was just talking. Everybody was thinking about 49-0. He was only 2 wins away, right? And that's win number 47 against David Bay, the one we just talked about. The one he just all of a sudden said that was it for him. Okay? Now, meanwhile, one didn't need to be a scholar of boxing history to know that Larry's trainer, the venerable Eddie Futch, likely had Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali on his mind when he said, My fear now is that Larry will go home and watch the tapes and see how great he looked. I'd like to see him retire after looking so good, rather than like some of our other most recent champions. But few expected that to happen, right? Few expected Larry to retire. Despite Larry's insistence that he was ready to walk away, it was obvious he had his eye on Marciano's record, which made his statements about retirement impossible to take seriously. One minute, he was declaring the Bay fight was his last. The next minute, he was leaving the door open, indicating that for enough cash, maybe another fight or two was in the cards. I want a lot of money and no more of those big hitters like Tim Witherspoon and Mike Weaver, Holmes told Pat Putnam of Sports Illustrated. I paid my dues, and if they want me back, they've got to give me little people I can beat on without getting hurt. Yeah, Larry always always weighed the risk and rewards, okay? In certain fights, he just said he wasn't taking without the right amount of money paid to him. Now, that's Spence and Dwight Muhammad Quawi in 1983. Spence became the undisputed champion at 175. And 175 in the 1980s was probably the best time ever for 175. And Spence was the king, right? Now, Holmes said he wanted little people he could beat on without getting hurt. Little people. Interesting. Did the champion have someone in mind who fit that description? Well, yes. As a matter of fact, he did. And he went on to negotiate through the media, noting that $3 million was his asking price to defend against undefeated light heavyweight champion Michael Spence. But as it turned out, $2.3 million was Larry's price to first battle Call the Truth Williams on primetime television in May and almost lose his status as champion of the world. Williams surprised everyone, including Larry himself, with his skill and determination. And the 35-year-old veteran Holmes was fortunate to escape with the decision and his title and not win number 48. Yeah, the truth almost ruined everything, right? Holmes almost wished he had stayed in retirement because the truth almost beat him. BBO Sports TV, what's up, BBO? From the STN Network, the Sports Talk Network. It's BBO Sports TV, the founder of the Sports Talk Network. Yeah, Holmes said he was retiring, but he got back in there against Call the Truth Williams and almost lost everything. Okay, but Holmes pulled it out. That was win number 48. That put him one behind Rocky Marciano's 49-0. So after the Williams fight, the boxing media was naturally curious as to whether Larry intended to keep going and attempt to tie Marciano's record. But a banged-up Holmes refused to commit himself, saying it was time for a long rest. Okay? And there's the man he was chasing right there, The Rock. That's The Rock and Archie Moore. And Archie Moore was the last light heavyweight champion the last reigning light heavyweight champion to attempt to win the heavyweight crown. Archie fell a little short. That's what Spence was going to be doing against Holmes. Reigning light heavyweight champion, trying to win the heavyweight crown. Okay? So Holmes said he needed a long rest. But the champion, who clearly was nearing the end, had put the $3 million number out there, and now undefeated Michael Spence wanted his shot. Spence had taken the WBA light heavyweight belt from Eddie Mustafa Muhammad back in 1981 and had since won 10 straight title fights and had unified the championship. A former Olympic gold medalist and the younger brother of former heavyweight champion Leon Spence, Michael was considered pound for pound one of the best in the game at that time, though few gave him a serious chance to dethrone the Eastern Assassin. Few, including the box historian, gave Spence little chance to beat Holmes. And I still don't think he did. But the judges thought so. That's all that counts. Okay? After all, no light heavyweight world champion had ever succeeded in taking the heavyweight title. Such legendary Hall of Fame pugilists as Billy Conn, Archie Moore, and Bob Foster had all tried and all had failed. And no one was yet talking about Spence in the same breath as those former greats of the 175-pound division. Archie Moore himself compared Holmes versus Spence to a smash-em-up derby between a transport truck and a Volkswagen. That's what Archie Moore thought. He thought Holmes was going to smash Spence. But we got it, you know. The fight was signed, and Spence went in there as the next reigning light heavyweight champion, trying to take the heavyweight crown. Now, knowing that Holmes would likely enjoy a huge weight advantage, and that 15 rounds was a long time to try and avoid his powerful straight right, the Vegas bookies tabbed Spence a 6-1 underdog. The pundits and boxing historians talked up the Marciano and Holmes comparisons, while Don King titled the card History, and even scheduled it for the same date as Rocky's final fight. The champion had his $3 million check, while Spence was guaranteed just under $1 million. And everyone waited to see if Holmes could reach the hallowed 49-0 mark. Meanwhile, Eddie Futch, who happened to train both champions, stayed out of it and worked neither corner, okay? Yeah, both of them had the great Eddie Futch as their trainer. So Eddie said, both of y'all got to get a trainer for this fight. I'm staying out of it, which was the right thing to do. Eddie didn't train neither of them for that fight. Okay, the legendary Eddie Futch. Yeah, there they are, right there. The fight had started. But while the match was indeed historic, it was far from memorable. The challenger Spence had bulked up from 175 to a muscular and solid 199 pounds, and his quickness, off-rhythm movement, and ability to throw punches from unexpected angles gave the champion Holmes all kinds of trouble. As a result, Holmes just couldn't get his punches off, and fight fans got 15 rounds of cat and mouse. Some gave the veteran points for being the aggressor, as round after round he tried in vain to walk Spence down. But others, including all three judges who counted, gave Spence credit for avoiding Larry's shots while landing the cleaner blows. And just like that, Larry Holmes' undefeated record, his heavyweight title, and his ambitions to break Rocky Marciano's record went up in smoke. Just like that. Yep. Went up in smoke. Holmes, Spence connects on the Asian champion right there. Yeah, that's a good left hand there. Went up in smoke, just like that. But if Holmes versus Spence didn't provide much in the action and excitement department, the now former champion made up for it with some loud fireworks of his own at his post-fight press conference. Rarely has any high-profile fighter been as candid or as caustic as when Holmes unleashed a tirade of pent-up bitterness at both the press and Marciano's family. Yeah, because Holmes got death threats and everything, man. And Marciano's family was very ugly leading up to that. Very ugly. Racist, all that. It was an extraordinary, if unseemly, display as Larry held nothing back, his words having far greater impact that night than his fists. The last days before the fight, I was kind of upset because of things I was hearing from the Marciano family. This is Holmes talking. Things I was hearing from the Marciano family, especially his brother, sneered Larry from behind dark glasses. And I think his family owes me a great deal for bringing Rocky back to life the way I did. I'm not trying to put him down, though. It would be so easy for me to do it. I'm 35 years old fighting young men, and he was 25 years old fighting old men. I can easily put him down. I mean, if you really want to get technical about the whole thing. Rocky couldn't carry my jock strap. Yeah, Holmes was bitter after that one. Yeah, Holmes struggled to land clean shots. Yeah, Spence had always been very awkward. But as bad as that was, Holmes had still more resentment and bitterness to unload. If I hurt you back there, Peter Marciano, that's Rocky's brother. So fucking what? Holmes continued. Hold it. This is my show. And you have been invited by Caesar's palace, and you are freeloading off your brother, even after he's dead. Now, if it wasn't for me, you would never have been invited to Caesar's palace, where all your expenses are paid. That's the truth. Classy stuff. The ugliness of the scene seemed to dawn on the now former champion as he was speaking, and seconds later he stated that Marciano was one of the greatest fighters of all time, that he would have loved to have met him, and that he was very sorry if he hurt anyone's feelings. But the damage was done. The harshness of Larry's words and the famous jockstrap comment are well remembered. His statements about Marciano's greatness are not. But what about all the nonsense Rocky Marciano's family said about Holmes? Magically, that's not remembered, only what Larry said. But you know, that's the world we live in. But anyway, yet again, Holmes stated that he was finished, done, retired, and that despite everything, he was leaving boxing with his head held high. But like all the other times, it didn't stick. And 6 months later, a Holmes-Spence rematch was announced. And in the build-up to the return, the former champion, who prided himself on always telling it like it is, once again let his mouth utter the kind of public comments that could only lead to bad karma, stating that the judges who scored the first fight must have been drunk. But that wasn't the end of it. Thus, no one, including Larry, was shocked when another close decision went against him, and Spence retained his title, despite the fact this time most thought Holmes deserved better. And in the post-fight interview, Holmes got off another memorable line. All I got to say to the judges, the referees, and the promoters is to kiss me where the sun don't shine. And since we're on HBO, that means my big black behind. Yeah, Larry was, and he had the right to be. I thought Larry won both fights, man. Yeah, I really did. Yeah, that's from the second fight there. Now, Holmes performed better in the rematch, but the judges scored it for Spence. Now, for those who had admired the skill, courage, and determination of the Eastern Assassin, and who remembered the long, difficult journey he had undertaken to go from being a sparring partner of Ali and Frazier to establishing himself as one of the best heavyweights in the history of the sport, it was a sad ending to an otherwise impressive career. The proud and gifted boxer who had vanquished such dangerous battlers as Ernie Shavers, Ken Norton, Mike Weaver, Jerry Cooney, and Tim Witherspoon was exiting boxing on a sour note. His crass comments about Rocky Marciano still echoing behind him. But again, nobody remembered the racist comments Rocky Marciano's family made about him. So, he had a reason to say what he did. He was mild compared to what was said about him, I think. But anyway, yeah. Let's finish this off and get into the truth. But of course, it was not the end. Though at the time, absolutely no one would have believed it if you had told them that Larry Holmes was far from finished, that he, in fact, would answer the bell on 25 more occasions, 25 more fights after that. And fans would see him battle Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Oliver McCall, and yes, Butterbean. Before all was said and done, Butterbean was his last fight. Meanwhile, Spence, unlike Holmes, believed in making a decision and sticking to it. He retired a single time after Mike Tyson annihilated him in 91 seconds in 1988 to become the undisputed champion of the world. And Spence never fought again. Yep. And there you have it, the fight of today. Okay. What's up, Ray Patterson? In the building. Joe Hattie. Kensaw Love 1 also in the building. Salute Kensaw Love 1. Joe Hattie. Ray Patterson. What's up, RP? Straight out of New Jersey. Okay, let's get started with Iron Mike Tyson. No, what am I talking about? Errol the True Spence. Errol the True Spence today is the profile. It's the first Friday of the month. We always do we always do profiles on Friday, but the first Friday is always an active boxer. Today, Errol the True Spence Jr. Okay. How's everybody? It's Friday. Couple of days away from fight week for the big Canelo Bud showdown. Yep. It's upon us. I think it's going to be similar to Mel. Bud ain't going to be able to handle that power. But we'll see. And if Bud wins, I will be here the week after that to eat my crow. Okay. The life and career of Errol the True Spence. Now, Errol Spence Jr., he was born March 3rd, 1990. He's a former unified champion in the welterweight division, okay? He held the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles between 2017 and 2023. Now, as an amateur in the welterweight division, Errol won 3 consecutive United States national championships. And he represented the United States at the 2012 Olympics, where he reached the quarterfinals. Okay, he didn't medal, but he reached the quarterfinals. In 2015, Spence was named Prospect of the Year by ESPN. Okay? So his nickname, of course, is The Truth. Right? Errol the True Spence. And Errol, well, he fights in the majority of his career in the welterweight division, but we're going to talk about this in a minute. His first 3 fights were actually fought over the welterweight limit, okay, before he settled into welterweight. And I want to explain that in a couple minutes. He was 5'9" tall, had a reach of 72 inches, fights in the southpaw stance, 29 total fights currently, 28 wins, 1 loss, 22 knockouts. And he has a 78.5% knockout ratio. Not too bad. Hovering right around 70%, 80%. Okay, let's take a look at Errol's amateur career. Take a look at his amateur career. Now, Errol took up boxing at the age of 15. In 2009, he won the United States National Golden Gloves and also won 3 consecutive National Amateur Welterweight Championships from 2009 to 2011, all in the welterweight division. Spence reached the quarterfinals at the 2011 World Championships, losing to Sariq Sapayev. He lost in the quarterfinals of the 2012 London Olympics to Russia's Andrei Zamkovoy and turned pro shortly afterwards. He ended his amateur career with 147 fights. He won 135 and he lost 12. Okay, so now let's take a look at Errol's pro career. Errol the True Spence. Okay, early career. On November 9th, 2012, a 22-year-old Spence made his pro debut at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California, in a scheduled 4-round fight against 19-year-old Jonathan Garcia. Okay, now this fight was at 154. Errol weighed in at 149, Garcia at 149 and a half. Okay, now Spence knocked Garcia down and out in the third round. In December 2012, Spence knocked out Richard Andrews at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California, which was part of the undercard for Amir Khan's comeback fight against Carlos Molina. And in this fight against Andrews, Errol weighed in at 148 3/4. Andrews weighed in under the welterweight limit at 144. Okay? And this, of course, was on the undercard of Amir Khan's comeback against Carlos Molina. Now, then after that fight, his third fight was against a fighter named Nathan Butcher. Errol came in at 149, Butcher at 148 and a half, both above the welterweight limit. Then after that, he settled in at welterweight up to this point. But those first 3 fights were all above the welterweight limit. Since then, he's been at welterweight ever since. Okay? Now, Spence fought 8 times in 2013, being victorious in all of them, winning 6 inside the distance. He was taking the distance in an 8-round fight in October by Emmanuel Lartey. The fight was rather one-sided, with all judges scoring the fight 79-73 in favor of Spence. By the end of 2013, Spence had won all of his 10 pro fights, 8 of them by way of knockout. He made his Showtime television debut on June 27, 2014, at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, in a 10-round fight against Ronald Ortiz. Spence was taking the distance and won a shutout, unanimous decision against Ortiz. On December 13th, 2014, Spence beat Javier Castro by TKO in the 5th round at the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so after that fight, he started his rise up the rankings. On April 11th, 2015, Spence defeated Samuel Vargas by TKO in round 4 of a scheduled 10-round fight in a Premier Boxing Champions fight. This was at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And that fight brought his record to 16-0. Okay? First 16 out the gate, all wins for the truth. On May 16th, it was announced that Spence would feature on the undercard of Sean Porter versus Adrian Broner on June 20th at the MGM Grand Arena. Spence defeated Phil Greco by 3rd round TKO. Now, he was originally scheduled to fight Roberto Garcia on that card, but Garcia backed out of the fight 3 days before the card due to weight issues. Now, Errol led to 73 of 142 punches thrown for 51%, and Greco led to 19 of 132 for 14%. So Errol's defense was on point that night, held his opponent to 14%. That is very good. Now, Spence next fought on the undercard of Stevenson Carpensy against Chris Van Heerden. And he did fight Van Heerden later on in his career. This fight was at the Ricoh Coliseum. The referee stopped the fight in round 8 after Spence knocked Van Heerden down twice in the previous round, round 7. In October 2015, it was announced that Spence would fight at the Bomb Factory in Dallas, Texas on November 28th against Mexican boxer Alejandro Barrera. Spence defeated Barrera by 5th round TKO. And this fight was an IBF eliminator for the number 2 spot in the IBF welterweight contender rankings. Spence was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards, 40-36, at the time of the stoppage. And he was named 2015 ESPN.com Prospect of the Year. Okay, so after that fight, he took his first step up. Pretty big step, too, against Chris Algieri. At that time, Chris Algieri was a pretty good name, so that was a pretty significant step up for Errol in that fight. Spence versus Algieri, okay? On March 10th, 2016, it was announced that Spence would fight former lightweight champion Chris Algieri at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on April 16th. And this was his biggest fight to date. Now, the fight was scheduled for 10 rounds in front of a pro-Algieri crowd of 7,628 in attendance. Spence became the first boxer to stop Algieri, okay? First boxer to stop Chris. This was Spence's 7th straight knockout. The end came when Spence delivered a left hook to Algieri's face. The hard shot sent Algieri straight to the canvas, and referee Benji Esteves waved the count. After the fight, Spence said, "Kell Brook knows what time it is. We got to get in the ring and fight." And the IBF later stated that Spence must have a final eliminator before he is declared mandatory challenger. And for this fight against Algieri, Spence earned $225,000. That was his biggest purse to date, while Algieri earned $325,000. Okay? And the CompuBox punch stat showed that Spence landed 96 of 311 punches, 31%, while Algieri landed 36 of 114 for 32%. And the fight averaged 1.4 million viewers on NBC. So he passed his first big test against Chris Algieri. And at that time, Chris Algieri was a pretty good name. Okay? So he passed his first big test. So now, Spence versus Bundu. Okay? Spence versus Bundu. Appreciate everybody that's Shelton Moore. What's up, Shelton? How are you today? I'm taking a look at Errol. Shelton, salute. Appreciate you stopping by. Salute, Shelton. Okay, yeah. He went up against Algieri. That was a big step because, like I keep saying, Algieri was a pretty good name around that time. Shelton, I tell y'all, yeah, back then. So he passed that test. Then he went up against Bundu, right? On May 16th, 2016, Spence denied that his team turned down a fight against Brook, which had been previously insinuated by Eddie Hearn, Brook's promoter, Eddie always insinuating something, always, always. Now, Spence said that the IBF had ordered him to fight their number 3 contender, Konstantin Ponomarev, in order to become the mandatory challenger for Kell Brook, right? Now, although there were no agreements to fight, on June 9th, Ponomarev injured his hand, forcing him out of the eliminator. So instead, it was confirmed that Spence would fight IBF number 7, Leonard Bundu, in the eliminator on August 21st at the Ford Amphitheater. And the fight would be aired on a Sunday night edition of Premier Boxing Champions on NBC. Okay? Here's him and Bundu. Now, Spence focused on breaking down Bundu from the start. After 5 one-sided rounds, Spence backed Bundu against the ropes and connected with an uppercut that dropped Bundu. Referee Johnny Callis waved off the fight without even starting the count. After the fight, Errol reiterated his desire of becoming IBF world champion, stating, "I definitely want my shot at Kell Brook and his title. I want him next. If he vacates or gets stripped, then I'll fight for his vacant title. I paid my dues." Now, for the fight against Bundu, Spence received $250,000, and Bundu got $30,000, right? So yeah, when everybody thinking these fighters making this big money, Bundu got $30,000, okay? So the fight drew 4.8 million viewers on NBC, and it peaked at 6.3 million. This was the highest TV audience for boxing in over 10 years in the United States. Okay, so now, after the Bundu fight, Errol getting to go up for the IBF title. There's him and Kell Brook. Yeah, Shelton. That's what I'm trying to do, step by step, Shelton. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, after the Bundu fight, he got what he wanted. Kell Brook was next. So this was for the IBF Welterweight Championship. Spence versus Brook. Okay, let's talk about that. There's him and Kell right there. Spence versus Brook. In January 2017, IBF welterweight champion Kell Brook and his team were in talks with Amir Khan over a potential fight. And we know that Kell Brook-Amir Khan fight happened way past the sell-by date. Way past the sell-by date. But him and his team was in talks with Amir Khan, while also keeping the mandatory fight with Spence as a second choice, right? So during the negotiation with Amir Khan, Khan urged Brook to fight Spence first. And eventually the talks broke down between Brook and Khan's camps. Amir Khan wanted him to fight Errol. So Kell Brook's promoter, Eddie Hearn, mentioned talks were already ongoing with Errol's manager, Al Heyman, for a fight to take place possibly in the UK in May of that year. And Hearn received an extension from the IBF for negotiations between himself and TGB Promotions boss, Tom Brown, as they were progressing. Now, the purse bid for the fight was set for February 7th by the IBF. On February 1st, Eddie Hearn claimed that Brook will be keeping his title and make the defense against Spence, and that he had reached out to Spence's team to no reply. He assumed that they wanted the fight to go to purse bids. Spence said that he had no problem traveling to the UK for the fight, regardless of negotiations. So with a deal close to being reached a day before the purse bid, the IBF granted a week extension, pushing the purse bid back to 7 days, because the IBF saw they was coming to terms, so they pushed the purse bid back, give them a chance to settle everything before it went to purse bid. So on February 13th, a deal was reached for the fight to take place in Sheffield on May 20th, 2017. At a press conference, In Sheffield on March 22nd, the fight was officially announced to take place on May 27th, 2017, live on Skybox Office in the UK and Showtime in the United States. Okay? Everything is set for Errol and Kell Brook going up for his first major title. In front of 27,000 fans, Spence dropped and eventually stopped Brook to win the IBF welterweight title after 11 rounds. In a fight where mostly power shots were landed, Spence threw combinations to the head and to the body, gradually wearing Brook down. Now, Brook did well working the counter and landed his own shots to the body. In round 10, Spence cornered Brook against the ropes and unloaded some heavy power shots, which caused Brook to take a knee, right? In round 11, Brook motioned many times that he couldn't see through his left eye and voluntarily took a knee. And the referee started the 10 count, which Brook was unable to beat, giving him back-to-back defeats and his first as a welterweight. At the time of the stoppage, all three judges had Spence ahead on their scorecards, 97-92, 96-93, 96-94. Now, although he won the fight, Spence admitted it was not his best performance. He said, "I give myself a B-. I was a little bit off with my offense and defense, but I give Kell Brook a lot of credit. This is what true champions do. You go anywhere to fight." Now, Errol landed 246 of 633 punches for 39%, and Kell Brook landed 136 of 442 for 31%. And the fight was broadcast in the afternoon in the United States on Showtime and averaged 291,000 viewers, peaking at 337,000 viewers. These were considered low numbers, even for an afternoon showing, possibly due to it being a holiday weekend. For the fight, Spence earned around 1 million lira, and Brook earned the guaranteed 3 million. Okay. I guess 1 million lira is what, like about $3 million in dollars, something like that. Okay, so now Errol is the IBF champion. Oh, let's see what's going on in the chat. We got some stuff going on in there. Al Booker says, the Brook fight was the first fight that I really tuned in closely to watch Errol. Very good fight on the road. Yeah, he said he was willing to go anywhere. That's what champions do. What's up, Sonny Boy Boxing? Sonny Boy says, very good win. How you doing today, Sonny Boy? Boxing in the building. And let's see. We got Mike Magic says, oh, Mike Magic is in the building? I thought Mike was already in here. What's up, Mike? How are you today? And Shawa is back. Let's see. This Shawa is one of the big time knowledgeable boxing people. What y'all think? I think 2 times give Shawa a wrench. Okay, yeah, let's see here. Yes, Shawa, you are now a moderator on Cat Sports. Okay. All right. So salute to Sonny Boy Boxing, Mike Magic. Shawa has entered the building. Okay. So yeah, Errol is now a champion. Went over there and beat Kell Brook in his hometown of Sheffield, England, remember? So after that, Spence versus Peterson. Lamont Peterson. Remember that one? Yeah. Lamont Peterson. His next victim. Okay. Spence versus Peterson. On October 3rd, 2017, Lamont Peterson vacated his WBA title in hopes of challenging Spence for the latter's IBF title. Now, Dan Rafael revealed that Spence was promised a $3.5 million purse from his manager, Al Heyman, for his next fight. On October 13th, it was reported the terms would be finalized within a week. Okay? So the fight was tentatively scheduled for Spence's 28th birthday, January 13th. 2018 against Peterson. The event would be aired on Showtime. And Peterson at last saw action when he dethroned David Avenesian in February 2017. Wow. So Peterson had almost a year layoff because this was going to be in January 2018. Peterson hadn't fought since February 2017. That is a year, right? So the fight was confirmed on October 14th with Barclays Center, the front runner to land the fight, right? Now the presser, Spence spoke fondly of Peterson. Spence said, he's somebody I looked up to in the amateurs, and I learned a lot from him. I had a training camp with him at the Olympic Training Center. So he's a guy I really look up to. He's one of my favorite fighters. He'll fight anybody. I've never known him to say no to a fight. I'm looking forward to it. He's got true grit. He's a real fighter. He's a guy who gives it his all and has a big heart. Yeah, that was Errol talking about Lamont. On November 5th, it was reported the fight was confirmed to take place at Barclays Center in Brooklyn on January the 20th, 2018. Okay, Errol and Lamont Peterson. So on fight night, in front of 12,107 fans, Spence broke Peterson down mentally and physically, eventually forcing Peterson's trainer, Barry Hunter, to stop the fight. 1 second in the round 8. 1 second, he should have just not even let him come out there, right? Man. Now, Peterson was dropped in round 5 from a left hand by Spence. Peterson beat the count and looked unsteady, though, but he survived the round. He took a lot of punishment, but managed to fire back some offense of his own before the round ended. His face looked swollen, and his eyes were puffy from Spence's hard shots. And Spence also worked the body from the opening bell. After round 6, Peterson knew he was behind on the scorecards and indicated to his trainer, who said he would give him a few more rounds. But he only gave him 1 second. Wow. In the post-fight interviews, Spence said, I want to thank Lamont. A lot of guys turned down the fight, and he took it like a real warrior, and I commend him for that. My coach, Derek James, came with a great game plan, and I just followed through with it. Kept my range, kept my composure, and Spence admitted he would need to work on his defense a little. When interviewer Jim Gray asked Hunter about the stoppage, he replied, it was really hard to stop the fight. But if you know Lamont, you know he was not going to give up. So I had to stop it. At the end of the day, this is my son right here. And there's nothing more valuable than his well-being. If it comes down to him or winning, pick him because I care about him. After the fight, Errol called out unified champion Keith Thurman. Remember that? That was where that situation was going on. After the Lamont Peterson fight, Errol called out Keith Thurman, referring to him not one time. Errol called him sometime. Now, at the time of the stoppage in the Peterson fight, all 3 judges had Errol ahead 70-62. None of them gave Peterson a round, right? And according to CompuBox, Errol landed 161 of 526 punches for 30%. And Peterson had 45 of 158 for 28%. And Errol got $1.2 million for the fight. Peterson got $600,000. And the fight averaged 637,000 viewers and peaked at 695,000 on Showtime. Okay? So that was Peterson. Next, like Shelton said, I'm working through his resume. Next is Ocampo. Yeah, Ocampo was after that. Carlos Ocampo. After the Peterson fight. I was just taking a look at the chat. Okay, yeah. Carlos Ocampo and Errol. Spence versus Ocampo. Okay. On January 23rd, 2018, the IBF sent a letter to TGB Promotions ordering Earl's promoter, right? Tom Brown. Now, they ordered Spence to make a mandatory defense against unbeaten prospect Carlos Ocampo. Carlos was 22-0 at the time, right? Now, Zanfer Promotions, who promoted Ocampo, were also notified, and they were given until February 22nd to reach a deal before a purse bid would take place. Now, because Ocampo was not rated in the top 2 in the IBF rankings at the time, at purse bids, he would be entitled to 15% rather than the 25% that a mandatory challenger receives. Wow, even less than the 25. You know, in the IBF, you're not in the top 2, you don't even get the 25. It's not even 75-25. It's down to 85-15. Wow. Okay. So yeah, Ocampo's team really shouldn't have wanted to go to no purse bid. On January 24th, Showtime announced that Spence the next fight on June 16th in Dallas, Texas. On February 24th, according to ESPN, the IBF ordered the purse bid to take place on March 6th. 4 days later, it was revealed that both sides had reached a deal. Yeah, Ocampo's team, I know they didn't want to go to no purse bid. He wasn't even getting the 25%. Within the IBF, remember, like I said, if you're not in the top 2, you only get 15%. Wow. So a purse bid was avoided. Okay. They reached an agreement. So on April 30th, an official press release confirmed that the fight would take place at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas. Okay. Yeah, there's Errol and Ocampo right there. In front of a sellout crowd of 12,000 fans, Spence knocked Ocampo out in the first round to retain his IBF title. In response to some body shots from Ocampo, Errol hit back with a hard left to the body that sent Ocampo to the canvas. Referee Lawrence Cole made the 10 count as Ocampo tried to get up, but he was in too much pain. And the time of the stoppage was 3 minutes of round 1. The knockout for Spence was his 11th consecutive stoppage since 2014, 11 straight. And then Errol stated he wanted to unify the division by going after the winner of the Sean Porter-Danny Garcia fight. Now, Keith Thurman, he wanted to go after Sean Porter, the winner of Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, or Terrence Crawford, okay? One of those fights he wanted. Now, after the fight, Spence said, I was a little disappointed. I wanted to give the crowd their money because he was in Texas, right? He said, I wanted to give the crowd their money's worth. I wanted him to sustain a hit a bit and give him some punishment, but the body shot got him and I dropped him. You don't get paid for overtime, Earl. Spence wanted to go at least 5 rounds. Now, according to Ocampo, it was overconfidence that caught up to him and ended his world title challenge. Errol made $1.2 million for this one. Ocampo got $75,000. Right? Now, numerous Dallas Cowboy players were in attendance, including quarterback Dak Prescott. Right? Dak needed to be in some attendance at some of them games. But that was a pretty good start to the season last night. Okay. That's when I see something situation. Remember, Mikey Garcia? Well, he thought he saw something. Spence versus Garcia. There's Thomas Hill, the legendary Thomas Hill is in the building. What's up, T. Hill? Earl the True Spence today. Yeah, we're going to try to squeeze some late time in. We get through this. Let's salute T. Hill. How are you today? Yeah, we up to the, like Shelton Moore said, I'm working through Spence's resume. We up to the I see something situation now. Remember, Mikey? I see something. Spence versus Mikey Garcia. Now, on October 25th, 2018, BoxingScene.com reported that negotiations between Spence and Mikey Garcia were progressing, with the fight likely to take place in February 2019 on Showtime pay-per-view. And Mikey was 39-0 with 30 knockouts at this time, okay? Now, Mikey first began to call out Errol for a fight before he defeated and unified the lightweight division in July. Now, on October 30th, Mikey vacated his IBF lightweight title, and the purse bid for the potential Richard Comey fight was canceled. On November 13th, PBC made an official announcement for their 2019 schedule. And it was announced that the fight between Mikey and Errol would take place at the welterweight limit at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on March 16th, 2019, exclusively on Fox pay-per-view. Now, many fans reacted to the fight being announced, some welcoming the fight and praising Garcia for daring to be great. And others believed that the size differential would be too much for Mikey, as Errol is considered to be a big welterweight, right? Yeah, some people was like, woo, Mikey daring to be great. Other people was like, Errol is even considered maybe should be at 154, so Mikey, you in trouble. But Mikey thought he saw something. So let's see what happened. Did Mikey really see something? Now, on the night of the fight, Spence completely outclassed and dominated Mikey, using his superior reach to constantly land jabs to the head and body from a distance, landing 108 over the course of the fight, 108 jabs. Mikey tried to close the distance, but with Spence's weight and height advantage, he was unable to completely dominate. Spence was able to completely dominate. Mikey couldn't close the distance. Even when Mikey did close the distance and it got up in the pocket, Errol still dominated. In rounds 8 and 9, Errol landed over 100 punches in 2 rounds on Mikey, with the majority being power shots, constantly using lead hooks and uppercuts on the increasing backing up Mikey, right? In total, Errol landed 345 punches to Mikey's 75. Mikey was unable to land double-digit punches in any of the 12 rounds. And the scorecards on the night read 120-107 and 120-108 twice. None of the judges gave Mikey a single round. So he really didn't see anything, right? 12 round shutout victory for Errol. After the fight, Errol was joined in the ring by 8th Division World Champion Manny Pacquiao. Remember that? Manny jumped in there. And that fight was scheduled, remember? But that's when Errol had the retina, remember? Right. So after the Mikey fight, Manny got in the ring. And Errol and Manny both stated that they would love to fight each other next. And the Errol-Mikey fight at AT&T Stadium had 47,525 people in attendance, generating a live gate of $5 million, according to ESPN. And that was Fox's first pay-per-view. It sold over 360,000 buys, possibly up to 380,000, generating a minimum of $27 million domestically. It was considered a huge success, considering PBC's record pay-per-views and the fact it was a pay-per-view debut for both boxers, Mikey and Errol, right? And they both had a base purse of $3 million, up to $8 million based on the pay-per-view sales. Okay, so then Errol is still an IBF. Now he's going after his first unification. First unification was against Sean Porter. Remember that? Yep. He had the IBF. This was his first unification attempt. Sean Porter. Okay. Spence versus Porter. Now, Errol fought 2-time welterweight world champion Sean Porter on September 28th, 2019 in a unification fight with the IBF, Errol's IBF, and Sean's WBC welterweight titles on the line. Now, Porter tried to rough up Spence from the get-go, knowing Spence is the superior boxer, right? Which made for an intriguing and an action-packed fight. Yeah, that was a great fight. Now, Earl knocked Sean down in the 11th round en route to a split decision victory. That was the difference, that knockdown. Now, the judges had it. Two of them had it 116-111, and the other had it 115-112. Yeah, I would think 115-112 was about right. Maybe 115-113, because that was a great fight. I thought the knockdown in that, 11th round was the difference in the fight. It was arguably a fight of the year candidate. So now Earl is unified. He took the WBC off Sean in that fight, already had IBF. So he unified IBF, WBC for the truth. Okay. So after Sean Porter came Danny Garcia, remember? Yeah. Spence versus Danny Garcia was next. In his first fight since crashing, we're going to get to that later, the car crash. But this was his first fight after the accident, right? It was in October 2019. We're going to save that for last. He fought former two-weight world champion Danny Garcia on December 5th, 2020. It was supposed to be in November, remember? And this fight was on pay-per-view back at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And Spence's IBF and WBC welterweight titles were on the line. Now, Danny was ranked number 2 by the WBC and number 6 by the Ring Magazine at welterweight. And Spence got a unanimous decision win with scores of 116-112, 116-112, and 117-111, and retained his titles. So next came the Manny Pacquiao situation. Remember, that fight was signed. It was signed. The Autism Boy is in the building. Well, I was wondering you was going to get over here, Autism Boy. Man. Yes, what's happening? Yeah, everybody subscribe to the Autism Boy Cottage one. Yeah, all these great channels there. We got Crush, BVO, Shower. All these people have great channels. Okay? But salute the Autism Boy. We are talking about Errol today. We're working our way through, like Shelton pointed out a while back. We're up to the Manny Pacquiao situation now. This fight was signed, remember? But remember Errol had, well, let's talk about it. Council fight versus Manny Pacquiao. Okay. On May 21st, 2021, because after the Mikey fight, remember, Manny had gotten the ring. So on May 21st, 2021, 8th Division World Champion Manny Pacquiao made the unexpected announcement on his social media that he and Errol would meet in the ring on August 21st in Las Vegas to face each other on Fox pay-per-view. Now, PBC and Fox confirmed the news, and it was reported that both men have signed contracts to face each other. Yeah. When the announcement was made by Manny on his social media, the contracts was already signed. Negotiations were over. Now, the two men had previously already met more than 2 years prior on March 16th, 2019 in the ring, following Earl's unanimous decision victory over Mikey Garcia in Arlington, Texas, when both Pacquiao and Spence indicated they would relish the chance to fight each other. So, on June 23rd, the venue was officially announced as the T-Mobile Arena. However, on August 10th, Errol was forced to pull out after suffering a retinal tear to his left eye. And so many people kept saying, oh, he didn't really have no tear, he's scared or whatever. That was crazy. Remember the people were saying that dumb stuff? But Errol was replaced by Yordanis Ugas. And Ugas' WBA welterweight title was on the line, okay? So the Manny fight didn't happen. Manny fought Ugas. Ugas beat him. So then you know what happened after that? Errol went after that belt Ugas had, right? Ugas, right? So Spence versus Ugas came around after that. Oh, yeah, Autism Boy. Let me give you the rich. This is the first time you've been in here. How could you have a wrench already? But you got one now. You deserve one. You got to come on in here first to get your wrench, autism boy. But next time you make a statement, you got one. Okay, salute. Autism boycott one is now our standard moderator. I've been waiting for you to show up to give you one. Okay. Yeah. So Errol and Manny didn't come about, and Manny fought Ugas. Ugas beat him. So Errol went after that third belt. Okay. Spence versus Ugas. Okay. After successfully defending his title against Pacquiao, Ugas petitioned the WBA for a special permit to bypass the mandatory defense against Imantas Stanionis. Remember that? Stanionis was mandatory, but Ugas petitioned the WBA to bypass that in order for Spence unification fight. Now, Stanionis would have to be willing to take step-aside money. So let's see what happened. If Stanionis take the step-aside money and allow this fight, let's see. But now the petition that Ugas sent to the WBA was denied on October 20th, 2021. The WBA stated, "We are in special circumstances to resolve extraordinary situations, such as the champion reduction in every division to have only one champion." Yeah, right. They don't even believe that themselves. You know, all the more champions, the more money they make. That's BS. Now, accordingly, Ugas and Stanionis were given a 30-day period to negotiate the terms of their fight, right? Now, they were unable to come to terms, so a purse bid was ordered for December 9th with a minimal bid of $200,000. Now, the winning bid will be split 75-25 in favor of Ugas as the reigning champion. Yeah. Because remember, they didn't play it. WBA didn't do that. Because now remember the IBF, if you're not in the top two, you only get 15. It's 85-15. But the WBA is straight 75-25. It don't matter where you rank that. But anyway, on December 19th, 2021, WBA President Gilberto J. Mendoza he confirmed that the Spence Ugas was approved, as Stanionis was willing to take step aside. Okay, yeah. So Stanionis took the step aside, and Ugas and Spence went ahead. The unification fight was officially announced on February 8th, 2022. It was scheduled to headline a Showtime pay-per-view card on April 16th, which would take place back at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So Spence Ugas went ahead. Stanionis took the step aside. I don't blame him. You get paid all that money for doing nothing. I take step aside too. Beat on each other, then I take the winner, right? But the fight was scheduled back at AT&T in Arlington, Texas. Now, Spence won the fight by a 10th round technical knockout. The fight was stopped on the advice of the ring physician due to Ugas' severely swollen right eye. And Spence was leading on all three of the judges' cards at the time of the stoppage. 88-82 on 2, 88-83 on the third card, right? And that was a fight where Errol had that lapse. Remember, he just stopped and like searching for something on the mat. Remember? And Ugas held back. Yeah. And Errol said he thought his teeth had came out in his mouthpiece, remember? But they hadn't, but he was looking. But wow. Anyway, Spence landed more total punches, 216 to Ugas' 96. And more power punches, 192 to 77, and Ugas in the fight. Now we winding down because this is what came up next. Right here. Spence versus Crawford. Michael Ray the second. What's up, Michael Ray? How are you? Good to see you today, my friend. Man, I'm gonna have 1,000 subscribers by the time this show is. Wow. But salute, Michael. Good to see you. We're working our way through Errol, but as you can see now, we at Bud, so we almost finished. But we still got to talk about the car accidents, not accidents. But yeah, Errol versus Bud, Spence versus Crawford. Okay. Now, Earl and the WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford came to an agreement on all material terms for a title unification. This was for undisputed, right? All 4 belts was on the line. Earl had the IBF, WBA, WBC. He got a 1 by 1 by 1. Bud had the WBO, right? And this fight was expected to take place on November 19th. Now, the agreement included a bilateral rematch clause, with the winner of the fight earning the majority of the revenue in the rematch. Now, 2 months later, it was revealed by both camps that negotiations had fallen through and they would be pursuing different fights. Everybody was disappointed after that, too. Remember, all the content creators was on here wailing about what happened. We thought we had that, blah, blah, blah. Remember, even me. But yeah, it fell through at first. But following this, the WBC ordered Spence Jr. to face Keith Thurman in a mandatory title defense. Okay, so potential dates were given of the fight between both men as June 17th and June 22nd. But both was proven false. Finally, on May 25th, 2023, it was confirmed that Spence Jr. would fight Terence Crawford for the undisputed welterweight titles on July 9th, 2023 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. But remember, Bud also fought David Evan-Neesman in between the Errol fight. Bud went and got another fight, right? But everything was confirmed for July 29th, 2023. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody was excited. It's happening. Okay, Earl and Bud. So Earl lost this fight by a 9th round TKO. Yeah, it was wasn't what anybody expected. And remember that week, earlier that week, we got the first shocker when the Monster beat Cool Boy down, remember? So everybody was like, well, we got Earl, that was on a Tuesday, Monster Cool Boy. So everybody was like, we got Earl Bud Saturday. Certainly that's not gonna be like this, but then we got another beatdown. Nobody expected both of those fights to go that way, man. Okay, Shelton says the problem for Earl was twofold. Number 1, car accident. Earl was never the same after the accident. And 2, Earl never fought anyone who could prepare him for Crawford. Would be a good point. Oh, all things. Good point, Shelton. I'm sorry, Alton. I think you deserve a rent too. I'm sorry. There you go. You got one now, Alton. I just saw you comment and you wasn't in blue. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So yeah, that week it was Monster and Inoue and then Earl and Bud. Nobody predicted both of those fights to go that way. I didn't think any of them was going to go like that. Either one of them was going to go like that. But then let's take a look at Earl's personal life. Okay, then we're going to get some link time after this. But let's take a look at Earl's, and everybody is welcome to hit the link. Take a look at Earl's personal life before we shut it down. Now, Errol Spence Jr. is of Jamaican descent through his father and Black American descent through his mother, right? He was born on Long Island, New York, but has spent the majority of his life living in Dallas, Texas. He's the father of 2 daughters and a son. Okay, now let's look at the car crash briefly. We don't need to spend all that time when everybody know about that, but the car crash. Spence was involved in a single vehicle accident at 2:53 a.m. on October 10th, 2019 in his hometown of Dallas, Texas. And he was hospitalized in the intensive care unit. Now, according to Dallas police, Spence's Ferrari 488 Spider was traveling at a high rate of speed and then veered left over the center median onto the southbound lanes and flipped multiple times, ejecting Errol, who was not wearing a seatbelt. He suffered facial lacerations, but no broken bones. Earlier that night, he had been drinking alcohol. He was released from the hospital 6 days later and was charged with a DWI, which is a Class B misdemeanor by the Dallas Police Department. Errol posted on Instagram, "No broken bones, I'm a savage," but deleted this post after receiving backlash. excuse me, as fans stated, he was lucky to be alive and noted that he could have seriously hurt others due to his drunk driving. Yeah. That post, right. Yeah, that was kind of bad. And he deleted it. Yeah. Now, Spence avoided jail time and received probation. Okay. And then other vehicular incidents. Okay. Let's see. In January 2020, just 3 months after his October car crash, Errol was involved in another car accident. He told Kate Abdu in an interview in April 2022 that he was in his G-Wagon when another car crashed into him from behind. He was subsequently dropped by his insurance company. In December 2022, Errol was involved in another car accident when a 14-year-old stole his parents' car and while running a red light, crashed head-on into Errol's vehicle. That's why you don't get your license at no 14. Ran right through a red light. That wasn't Errol's fault that time. Hit him head-on. Although Errol's car was damaged, both parties walked away from the accident relatively unscathed. That could have been bad head-on. Now, with Errol complaining only of a leg injury after that accident, there you have it, the life and career of Errol the Truth Spence. Okay, we're gonna get some link time. Okay, yeah, that was yeah, Errol Spence. Yeah, we do a profile every Friday, but on the first Friday of every month we do a active box. It was Errol this month. Yeah, but we are right there on the Canelo Bud. It's fight week is next week, right? I got Canelo Bud. I know Shelton got Bud. Mike Masick got Bud by knockout, right? So yeah, but the good thing about it, it's getting ready to happen. Man, I remember when they first signed this thing, and now it's right up on us. Next week is fight week. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. This is big here. But Canelo, man. Two of the biggest names in the sport currently. Yeah. This is huge. I can't wait. I'm gonna be here to take my crew if Bud wins. I ain't gonna hide. I'm gonna be right here to admit I was wrong. I was looking at something, but okay, here is the thing. The link. How's everybody? It's Friday. Anybody got a big weekend planned? I don't. We got I know we had a card last night, I believe, and then I think it's 3 cards tonight, right? And 1 tomorrow. And also we got Monster and MJ. Monster and MJ not getting the props because Bud and Canelo. If it wasn't for Bud and Canelo, Monster and MJ would be the talk of the town, right? Because that's a huge fight. As long as Monster keep winning, I can't bet against him though. You know, I ain't going against Monster until somebody beats him. Not like I'm saying though, Nakatani. I don't know. I might have to go against Monster. But Monster said he got to get past MJ first. Okay. There's a link. Everybody's welcome to hit the link and come up and chop it up. Okay. Trying to get this stuff out of the way. Help. It won't move. Damn. There it is. Yes. Oh, there's T. Hill. What's up, Thomas Hill?
What's good with you guys?
Just talking this boxing. Errol Spence today. That's all.
The truth.
What's up with you?
Oh man, Trying to maintain, take it one day at a time, man. Taking it
That's the
one
only
day
way
at a
to do
time.
it. Only way to do it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Spence, man. I hope everything's well with him on his comeback. I really do, man. That last fight that he had,
What's up,
like shout
Sean?
out, like I said, shout out to my man Earl. I mean,
Mhm.
Bud.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
he didn't look too good hopping into that ring, and he didn't look too good since because he ain't got back in the ring. So I don't know if it's because he can't get cleared or what's
who
going on.
Earl?
But hopefully,
Talking about
yeah,
Earl, right? Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully everything's well with him, man. He can get his last 3 or 4 fights in and call it a day, call it a career.
Yeah. What's up, Shelton? Yeah, I hear you, T.O.
Fellas, what's the word?
You got the best hand, Shelton. Talk to us.
Oh man, I was listening to my man Cass. He laid out Earl's career.
Yeah.
He laid it out
Right.
in alphabetical order, I should
Yeah,
say.
let's do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did the right way, man. I mean, Earl, don't get me wrong. Errol was great at what he did. Errol was a good fighter. He was very good. One of the best over the last 15 years. It's just this guy that he had to eventually fight is different. He's just, Errol was good, but this guy was a what they call it, a generational talent. And I think he's gonna prove that again. He's gonna prove that again next Saturday because
Okay.
I don't see the fight being a blowout. I just don't see Canelo beating this guy. I just don't see it.
Shelton, decision for Bud?
I got a decision.
Okay.
I got a decision for Bud. I got a split decision for Bud. It's going to be controversial, and they're going to go to the snack and this and that. The biggest problem for the people who don't like Bud is going to be the fact that Canelo's not going to drop him or stop him.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Canelo hasn't dropped or stopped a lot of people in the last couple of fights. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Yeah, but you got to remember, T. Hill. You got to remember, those dudes were a lot bigger.
They were. But according to Bo Mac sitting in the barber chair said he was the one that was making him fight at weights that was too small for him. He should have been fighting up here for a long time, according to him. So, I mean, I'm not gonna put no.
Now, T. Hill and Cass. Was there any money at 54, 60, or 68?
Say it again.
Was there any money when Bud was at 47? Was there any money at 54, 60, or 68?
It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was.
No, the money was at where?
Where he was at.
Where he was at.
Yeah.
Where the money was.
At that time.
It only makes sense. But it only makes sense to people who want to listen instead of not having confirmation bias and already believe in something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, I don't have no bias.
No, I know you don't, T. I know you don't. You just listen and laugh like me. You listen and laugh like me.
Yeah, I'm actually rooting for the band. I just know the talking points have drastically shifted to the point to the where a man who ain't never got stopped finna get stopped like consistently. As many people saying, "Yo, Bud about to go in there and stop this cat." That to me is wild as hell. But hey, I'm gonna watch.
Either way, T. Hill.
Huh?
I got decision either way.
I mean, it has to be in order for him to get a decision. What he would have to do would be the equivalent to Bivol or better, man. I mean, you witnessed Floyd literally lay hands and feet on him and get hit maybe 3-4 times throughout the fight, and it was a close fight according to some judges. So, and some of them judges that they lined up have been notorious for some of the baddest worst scorecards they have in Canelo fights. So he would have to literally put hands and feet on him, and if he go in there and do that, he can walk out with a decision because that's what Bivol did. Yeah. That being the case,
Bivol,
man.
And if you watch that fight, Cass, I know you watched that fight. T. Hill, I know you watched that fight. That fight was 9-3, 10-2 maybe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I saw it. I definitely saw it.
Bivol beat the brakes off that dude. He beat the brakes off that dude.
Yeah, I have people saying that it wasn't that bad, but I'm like, man, if you had this man so frustrated that he just shelled up and covered for punches, you didn't want to fight no more.
He beat the brakes off that dude. But they don't want to say that because, see, what I've learned about some of these content creators, fellas, is that some of these dudes just can't stand being wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm wrong every day, dog.
They can't stand being wrong. You know, they had all their hopes and dreams riding on Errol Spence.
Yeah.
As soon as he got beat up and stopped, they had to have all the snack. He was on drugs, or Errol wasn't right. He had a broken rib before the fight. Just come on, man. Y'all was saying that on July 27th or 28th. Now all of a sudden he got broken ribs. He was smoking weed.
I had Errol, but I gave one his price. I think he didn't. He did straight up in the ring.
Because they wasn't. The problem for me is they wasn't looking at it from a boxing perspective. They're looking at it from a homeboy perspective. That's my partner. I love Errol, so he gotta win. No, he just wasn't a good enough boxer to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And that's what when I was going back and forth, because I was knee deep in the conversation for years. I would tell him all the time, man.
I remember.
If you look at the styles, it's a bad matchup for Errol. Errol's a flat-footed, come-forward dude against a dude that can fight from either stance, that can fight laterally, that can fight backing up. He can do everything. There's nothing Errol can do to stop this dude from doing what he does, because Errol does one thing and one thing only. It's simple. It was simple.
Let me ask you this. Who would be a good fight if Errol do get another fight? Who would be a good fight?
You gotta speak up a little, turn yours up a little bit. You said who would what?
Be a good fight for Errol. Next fight.
Now? Now? You talking about now?
Now. Yeah.
Maybe. Oh wow. Maybe Tim Tszyu?
I would say Tim Tszyu, or I would say the dude that Bud came up there and beat. Those are the two people that imagine those.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in there with nobody else, man, because
I definitely didn't want him in Fundora. No, that was bad. No. Remember they was talking about
Fundora. Maybe Mendoza. What you think about Mendoza, T. Hill?
Oh yeah, that was
I like Mendoza because Mendoza can dominate, and then he'll just start fading at the end of the fight. He's always been that type of fighter. If he don't get you out of there, gives the fight away. The other fighter that I would also say would be the dude Virgil Ortiz.
You would put Errol in there with Virgil?
I don't think Virgil has had very many fights lately. I don't know if he's fully battle tested. The fight with Bachman.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that fight with Bachman.
I don't like that for Errol. I do not like Bachman for Errol at all.
No, not Bachman. I don't like Bachman.
Yeah, I don't want to see Errol nowhere near that dude. Or Fundora. I don't want him near Fundora either. I think Fundora beat him.
Yeah, I didn't like that. No.
I would really like Errol, to be honest. I would really like Errol to just go home and count his money and play with his horses and stuff. To be honest, I don't want Errol to hurt.
So for that, I would say Thurman. William Thurman. I think people will tap into that. Get a good bag and then he can call it. But I don't think he's been able to get in the ring because I don't think there's been doctors that's willing to clear him. That's what I believe. I
believe the same thing. I don't think he's been able to be cleared because he had like 5 or 6 dates and they all fell through. Not just because he can't get medically cleared to fight.
That's a good question. I always say, what happened to Castano? That might be a good fight for Errol if he was there.
Castano took his bag and went home.
He sure did.
I mean, he made what, $700,000 the first fight and like $5 million the second fight. $6 million go a long way in Argentina, bro.
Down there, that's what I ready to say that. Yeah, he probably like a billion.
He took his bag and went home. Brian Castano ain't trying to fight nobody. He ain't gonna fight nobody.
Don't seem like.
And he's about 36 years old now. Am I right, T. Hill?
Yeah, he was getting up there.
You're absolutely right, man. That is a good fighter right there. And in fact, I think he won that first male fight.
He did win that first male fight. They just gave him a draw to keep the money coming.
Yeah. And that was undisputed too, wasn't it? The first fight.
Yeah, I agree about that.
Yeah, it was.
So
It was.
should have had that.
It was. Yeah, I liked Errol as a fighter. I mean, everybody thought I hated on Errol. I didn't hate on Errol. I never did. I just knew what Errol was.
No, they just don't know how to appreciate your type of candor. That's what it really is. You just be talking your honest truth, and you just have to deliver. I know people who deliver in the same way that you do. My brother does similar stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look at what Cass laid out today. You beating on Leonard Bundu, you beating on Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia, Kell Brooks, Sean Porter. That don't get you ready for Bud. Ugas, Chris Algieri, Chris Van Heer. That don't get you ready for Bud, bro.
Hey, Shelton.
Yeah.
What would have been a good fighter that would have got him ready for Bud?
Keith Thurman.
Thurman? Okay.
Keith Thurman.
Hello.
Not Errol.
Would have helped him.
Can y'all hear me?
It would have helped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
We hear you.
Hey, what up, fellas?
What up, Errol? Go ahead, bro.
Chilling, man. Just give me a say, what up? What y'all cooking on?
Oh, we was cooking on what would have been a good fight for Errol prior Bud. You know, not the Leonard Bundus, not the Chris Algieris, not those type of dudes, not the Mikey Garcias. I suggested if he'd have fought Keith Thurman, it might have helped him. What say you?
Yeah, Keith would have definitely helped him, but in hindsight, because the fight already happened, Derek James was the issue.
You think so? Explain.
Yeah, because Crawford's a natural counterpuncher. The only way you can have any effect, especially as an elite counterpuncher, is by using feints.
Yeah.
Errol did not use now one feint in
Making him go first
in the fight.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's basic. That's academic, you know. And Derek James should have known that. I don't know why he came in with that game plan. I don't understand.
Yeah, you got to make the counterpuncher go first. You know.
Well, here's the question, though. But here's the question, though, CAS. Let me ask you, and T Hill, have you ever seen Errol feint? Because I've never seen him do it.
Not much. That's not his game. You know.
I have Shelton, but it's not like a big part of his repertoire, but because he hasn't needed it. But that's the thing. Like when you haven't needed it, okay, that's fine. But the coach is supposed to be there to devise a game plan for the particular opponent. You know?
Yeah, that's the.
But see, that's if you're athletic enough. That's if you're athletic enough to make those type of adjustments in fight, or you have the IQ to make those type of adjustments in fight. And I submit to you guys that after that accident, Errol Spence was not athletic enough to make those kind of adjustments.
Yeah, likewise. I agree with you.
A feint is not an athletic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nah, that I was just agreeing with what you said. I mean, for the most part, he doesn't do it. I don't think he's ever felt the need to. And when he did do it, it was in his much younger career. But go ahead and finish your thought, man. My bad.
No, I was just going to tell Shelton, feint has nothing to do with one's athleticism. It's a tactic. It's a boxing fundamental. I mean, you learn that.
But it does have something to do. But it does have something to do with your athletic ability, because you can feint and not be able to get back in time. You can feint and get caught because you're not fast enough to feint and get back. You feint when you're brought back, then you throw the punch. You can't. He's not athletic enough, I'm saying, to feint and then throw a punch off of that feint. He's not athletic enough to do that because he's so damaged from that accident. And here's the problem that I have with most people when you talk about Errol. Nobody who's lived on this planet can tell me that a man gets thrown from a Ferrari doing 110 miles an hour, he slides across the concrete 35, 40 feet, and he's going to be the same man after that. It's not going to happen. You're not the same after that.
but to disregard such a fundamental tactic against an elite counterpuncher, you're already handicapping yourself. And Errol in the fight proved he was athletic enough to land on Bud. So if he's athletic enough to land on Bud, he's athletic enough to use feint to draw out his punch and counter it.
Bud drew him in to let him land that shot. Because as you heard Bud say, I felt his power in the third round. And once he caught me, I said, that's it. You in trouble. So Bud would allow him to come in and throw those shots because he wasn't afraid of those shots. And once he threw those shots, you saw he countered right off of that shot and put him on his ass. Because he wasn't afraid of anything that was coming at him.
Yeah, but he allowed him to do that because Bud knew that like he wasn't throwing him any feints. So he had he handicapped himself by not doing that.
He didn't punch hard enough to hurt Bud. Don't leave that out.
Oh, I mean, we won't know that until we don't know that.
That's what Bud said. I'm telling you what Crawford said himself. He said he don't punch hard enough to hurt him.
No, but I understand that. But the thing is that like accumulation of punishment like is a thing. So like literally like if you're landing a shot, but you get immediately countered. I mean, like you get what I'm saying? It's like if a thing comes before his actual offense, like it's gonna make Bud tentative. But without like Bud knew that. Bud's smart enough to know it's like okay, like literally like no matter what he throws, I won't be able to counter him because it's like it's like it's predictable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bud told you in the press conference before that fight, there's nothing he can do to change the outcome of this fight.
No, there's definitely something he could do. No, there's definitely something he could do. It's pro feint.
Well, he didn't, but Bud didn't think that. I mean, it's cool that you think that. It's cool that anybody else thinks that. But the guy that was fighting him, listen to what I'm saying. The guy that was in the ring fighting him said there's nothing he can do to change the outcome of this fight. I tend to believe that guy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he's going to say that, but it's not true.
How is it not? Did it not turn out the way he said it would?
It turned out that way because Errol handicapped himself. Derek James handicapped him.
Derek, explain that, Furrow. How did Derek handicap him?
No, because the thing is, like, I agree with Shelton. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say I agree, but it makes sense what Shelton is saying that, his IQ or maybe the accident, like, for whatever reason, Errol didn't adjust himself. Like, his own IQ didn't do that. But that's why you have a coach. Yeah. That's why you have a corner. That's why you get that minute break where, like, where Derek should have noticed that. It's like, what are you doing? I'm sorry?
But that he did. You heard Derek James saying that in the corner. What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? You got to understand something, Carol. Everybody doesn't have the ability to make adjustments in fight. That's a rare skill that some people have.
Yeah.
Floyd could do it.
He didn't tell him to do the one thing that he needed to do.
He didn't do it. And Errol, and he told him, feint on your way in. If you go back and watch that fight, it's on Showtime. You can hear Derek James saying, won't you feint him on your way in? He didn't do it.
He never said it, bro.
He did tell him that. If you listen to watch the fight.
I remember clear as day.
Well, it didn't matter because we all knew, well, I knew, you did, but I knew 3-4 years ago that Bud was going to beat the brakes off of him because he just wasn't good enough.
Well, I knew it was 50-50 going in, but I also didn't know that Errol was literally not going to come in with was going to come in with. I didn't know he was going to like disregard a basic offensive principle.
Well, you should have been down there in Texas telling him about that, Errol.
I'm not his coach. I'm not his coach, my brother. I'm not his
obviously
coach.
His coach don't know. Well, obviously, if you know that, this coach don't know that. His coach don't know shit. Obviously.
That's what I'm saying, Shelton. It's like to me the fight went the way it went, but like literally like Derek James didn't have the wherewithal to like tell him a basic principle when you're fighting an elite counterpuncher. I mean, you're already handicapping yourself if you're fighting just a regular counterpuncher. Like you need to feint a counterpuncher or you will not win.
But now, Errol, feint was not a big part of his game. Could that have something to do with he just wasn't used to doing it? No,
that makes total sense. But the thing is, that's why you have a coach. The coach is supposed to like devise the best to his abilities, a game plan to defeat the opponent in front of you, and he did not do that.
But sometimes you don't follow what the coach tells you to.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm telling Shelton. No, Cass, is like the coach didn't tell him to do it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I gotta put the onus. On DJ.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying DJ didn't even tell him to go out there and faint?
No, Shelton says he remembers it. I don't. But it is what it is. I mean, literally,
it didn't really. To be honest, I called this fight. And Puro can vouch to this 4 years before it happened. I said Bud was going to beat the brakes off of him.
That was before the accident and everything.
Yeah, because he just wasn't good enough. I mean, I don't know why people couldn't see that. They said he fought Danny Garcia and he fought Sean Booth. So what? He's not good enough to beat that guy.
Well,
Too one-dimensional. So one-dimensional
most
guy.
people didn't know that.
There's one thing.
People didn't know that.
He does one thing. He's flat-footed. He comes forward. He throws a bunch of punches. That's what he does.
Okay. So
yeah, but I mean, sometimes that's all you need.
Against the guys he was fighting, yes. Against that guy, you're gonna need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but they fought the same dudes. A lot of the same dudes.
Yeah.
They fought Porter and they fought Brooke. That's the only two dudes they fought that were the same. Who else did they fight that was the same?
Neither one of them fought Keith.
Yeah, neither one of them fought Keith. Well, the two mutual opponents, literally, they both beat him. So I mean, other than that, I mean, what other fighters other than the ones that they didn't face Crawford had that you would say, okay, because he beat these guys, he's gonna mop the floor with Errol.
Well, the difference between Crawford and Errol is this. Crawford came up through the divisions. He came up from 35 to 40 to 47.
Yeah.
Right.
That means in all those fights, he's fought a myriad of styles. He's fought different styles coming through the divisions. Fought tall guys, short guys, fast guys, slow guys, guys who could punch, guys who could box. He's fought all kinds of guys. He's seen everything. Whereas if you look at Errol Spence's resume, and Cass just laid it out for us before you got here, he basically fought the same guy over and over again. The exact same guy. Fought him over and over again. The one time he fought a guy that could move, Sean Porter, he had all kinds of issues.
Yeah, but he won.
Yeah, but you don't learn nothing fighting the same guy.
But you know what?
The same style over and over again doesn't teach you anything.
But it wasn't too many people at 147 that would have got him ready for Bud, though.
But I mean, you said the one time he fought a mover, Shelton, he had trouble, but he still won.
But it wasn't easy. And if he doesn't get that knockdown,
none of the fights are easy at that level.
In the 11th round, he loses that fight. He didn't stop Porter. If he doesn't get that knockdown in the 11th round, he loses that fight.
That knockdown was huge.
But that's the thing. He didn't need to knock him out. He executed his game plan and he got what he needed to win the fight.
Yeah, and how did that help him on July 29th?
How he got there is irrelevant. He got there.
And how did that help him on July 29th?
At the end of the day, we didn't know that he was gonna come in with a bad game plan. We didn't know that.
I told you the times that me and you talked about this fight for 4 years. I told you it didn't matter what game plan he came in with, didn't I?
Yeah, but it does matter.
It didn't matter that night.
Yeah, because he didn't do something very basic that literally if you watch boxing and if you don't even have to be a hardcore, you just literally understand the basic concepts of countering different styles. Neither the fighter nor the coach, which is supposed to be prepared for this fight, did. Did you know that he was going to come in with to develop a game plan that consisted of 0 feints?
I knew for a fact, that's why I put my money on it, that no matter what he did, he was going to lose because he just wasn't good enough.
Shelton,
but that's the thing.
Be that bad,
we'll never know, Shelton, because he came in with the game plan he came in with.
I didn't think he would get beat that bad, but there was no chance. There was never a version in my mind. I'm speaking for myself. In my mind, there was never a version of Errol Spence that could have beat Terrence Crawford. Never. He just wasn't good enough. He's one-dimensional. He just couldn't do it.
And that may be true, but we'll never know unless they fight again.
Yeah.
Fight again for what?
Literally, fight with a proper game plan. Fight Terrence Crawford.
There's no reason to fight again. I'm 38. I'm getting $50 million for this fight. I'm probably going to retire after this fight, no matter what happens. Why would I fight him again? And he hasn't fought since the ass whooping I gave him. He hasn't fought again.
No, I get that from Terrence's perspective, but from Errol's perspective, like literally, like I'm sure he's not a dumb. Like when he rewatched that film, he's probably like, why did I fight him that way?
Well, I know for a fact he ain't getting that fight again. Your boy Bud ain't gonna fight.
No, I don't think he's getting that again, and I'm not trying to advocate for it either. But I'm just saying,
I know you know I understand what your line of logic. I'm just saying, but once he got that out the way and he was able to put himself into the position that Errol was to line up with that Canelo fight, it was a wrap. And that's truly like we say concerning certain fighters, that's truly the prize. The prize is to get as much bread as possible, and if he's getting $50 million to fight Canelo, yeah, he ain't getting in the ring with nobody else.
Let's look at that fight, Bud and Canelo.
No, I hear you, but he could have gone somewhere else.
The Bud and Canelo.
No, I hear what you're saying, Porto, and I agree. I mean, as great as Bud is, he looked no greater against anybody else but Errol Spence. So now, if he's truly that great, where he can hit the button and he can just command peak performance upon command or situational status for the fight, then Canelo's in trouble. Period. Point blank. Period. Point blank. Because like I've never seen Bud that locked in a fight. I've seen a lot of people make a good fight of fights with him. Hell, I've seen a one-legged, and remember he was
Sean Porter made a head.
Porter was winning the fight until that the stoppage. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Bud for making the adjustments to get him out there, but Porter was sloppy the whole fight long.
But I thought he was sloppy.
Yeah.
And Canelo's on Sean Porter, Canelo's like 3 levels above Sean Porter.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, I would have to agree with you, and I think likewise that Errol was levels above Sean Porter. Maybe not 3, but he was levels above.
Errol, though, T-Hill.
He did almost.
I think in retrospect, T-Hill, they're the same level.
Maybe so.
I would actually say Sean Porter's better.
Okay, then Errol.
Well, Sean Porter, when he fought Bud, even though he got knocked out, at least Sean Porter had the wherewithal, and his father, and to me, it's obvious. It's what's the dad's name?
Sean Porter's dad?
Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter's been involved in the USA amateur program for a long time. So like these guys got the boxing fundamentals down pat. So like in that fight, like Sean Porter knew to throw feints. It's just Terrence Porter.
But in that fight, he still was.
But adjusted in that fight, knocked him out.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't have to He didn't have to adjust hard. I mean, he was overreaching like he always does in the fight. He reaches over, he puts himself off balance. It's just that he timed it just right in that 10th round, and it changed the complexion of the fight. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that statement. I do know that I've seen Avanesian overreach and throw himself at Bud, and it take a while for it to find pay dirt. I've seen Mean Machine Igor Kavalauskas do the same thing. Like I said, Benavidez on one leg. You know what I'm saying? Was never the fighter that he was before the shooting. He made him work hard for that fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence. Errol Spence looked like he should have hang it up that night. Like he didn't look like he belonged in any ring that night.
It wasn't competitive at all. It shocked everybody. I won $400. I won $400 on that fight because I bet on the knockout for both fighters.
Well, you didn't think it was going to go like that, though, did you, Perro?
No, of course not. I thought it was 50-50. I thought it was 50-50. That's why I didn't bet the fight, because there was no money to be made picking a winner. That's why I won the knockout.
I had it 50-50 with a late stoppage, possibly by Errol, or, a knockout late by Bud. It could have went either way, but I was favoring Errol slightly. But I didn't have any idea that it was going to be that. And I have not seen him get in the ring with any other fighter and do any other fighter as dirty as he did Spence.
Nobody.
Now, nobody can make that make sense to me. I don't care how basic Earl was. Earl wasn't the worst fighter he's fought. Yet he shined the most in there. So if he can do that against Earl, and this is just because that's the type of opponent he is, I got to raise it up. Then you have to put on a cape, sling some web, and shoot some beams out of his eyes when it comes to Canelo, because he's going to be super heroic in that fight. And that's all I'm really saying. Like, yo, if he can turn it up like that, then Canelo might be in some problems.
I don't think so.
But I do know one thing about Canelo. He fought Floyd Mayweather.
He can't hurt him.
Well, that's the thing. They're saying he gonna get knocked out. A lot of people are saying he's about to get knocked out.
And he's never been off his feet.
I mean, any fighter could be hurt, class, but I hear where you're coming from.
I hear where you coming from, because he has been in the ring with some sturdy punchers and not touched the canvas. He's gotten rocked a couple of times, but he's not touched the canvas. They're not saying touch the canvas. They're talking about sparking him out, and that is the talking point now. It's grown a lot. So I don't know what's going on, but man, there was
seen him in any kind of serious trouble in a fight.
I haven't either. Yeah, I have.
Who, Canelo?
Which one?
Yeah.
He's been hurt. He's been hurt once.
I thought he was hurt against Triple G. I thought he was hurt
Triple G in
against
the second one. The second one,
yeah. But
and then
like no Triple G.
What's the name's brother? I think what's the name's brother had him wobbled against the ring. Or what was his name?
Yeah. Early in his career, Cotto.
Yeah, Cotto's brother. Yeah, Cotto's brother had him wobbled.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a way back there. Yeah, that was
like
what, welterweight? What was that, like welterweight?
That was that was super welter.
54. Okay,
I believe it was either welter or super welter.
Okay, yeah.
Either or. But he was young. I think it was his first or second fight in the United States.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So yeah, he's been touched, and like I said, in these fights of late, he's been getting touched. So I understand why people say, and then he struggles. He doesn't really work well on the inside. He just covers up. So they're saying that Crawford can stay close to him and pick apart the high grill. But the fact that
he'll get eaten up. Sorry to cut you off.
Nah, I mean, honestly, I believe it's going to be a fight of acumen. I think that whoever has the better approach and the better preparation and can execute it, will actually start to gain a little bit more of the momentum. It's just that it's going to be tough to be able to wobble your boy Canelo when he's been taking some serious shots and really been standing his ground. Now, I recognize he's older now, but as is Bud, I recognize that, Bud has, as he's moved up, dispatched of his opponents, but his opponents were never Canelo. So it's going to be tough, but I mean, if he can,
I think about the Madrimov fight against Madrimov.
Well, there's a lot of people who felt like Madrimov really wasn't a struggle, and a lot of people, because they have hate. You know how it is, man. Everybody that's affiliated with PBC, they're ducks, or they're fighting certain fights and things like that. Well, it's a lot of people who have an antithesis like type of reaction towards Bud and them, and they say, well, he really didn't struggle. It's just people don't like him, so they say he struggled because he didn't get him up out of there. But man, I watched the fight, and it looked like Madrimov made it much more difficult for him, and he had to pull those last from rounds 9 to 12 out to pull that victory out. Now, that's being said, he did some fantastic work in the ring, and to a certain degree, Madrimov didn't fight like he normally fights, so that's clearly a testament to Crawford. But it wasn't no walk in the park. He didn't.
I thought he lost, T-Hill. I thought he lost, bro.
You thought he lost?
Draw. I thought the thing is like, I think a best to draw, because like literally like, and if y'all remember in the 12th round, Bomac was telling him, you need this round big, and he had a big 12th. So like, to me, I still felt like the champion edged it, but like, to me, I think the best thing was a draw. But I was not mad at it because it was a close fight.
Yeah, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. It was closer than I expected it to be. I still think Bud won the fight, but I mean it was close though.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
not mad. I'm
close.
not
And
mad at anybody
I'm not
that
at
won it. You know.
no, yeah, I'm not mad at anybody who felt like Madrimov won. You know, it's just the anointing of after that, it was like, oh, he's the best by and far, 54-pound, and then he gets smoked his next fight. Gets absolutely annihilated his next fight, but he was the best because he went tooth and nails, had Bud eye closed up and, you know, a little shiner up on him and whatnot. Nah, it just was, hey, dog, it was a move up. And, you know, sometimes with the move up, you're not acclimated, you see what it really is.
Now he's moving all the way up to 168, though.
Yeah, but there's a lot more on the line for this fight than that fight. So I'm pretty sure him and his, and let's not forget his corner, his camp is excellent, especially Saul. Saul, that dude, man, he puts together plans. He breaks down them fighters film, and he puts together plans to execute in the ring. And I mean, they train it to perfection. So I got to give them credit too.
So you get the corner.
I think it's an excellent trainer.
Who get the corner advantage?
Oh, easily, Bud. Easily, Bud, man. I'm not a big fan.
I think it's easily Eddie, bro.
You like the game plans, the breakdowns, the ring adjustments that your boy.
I think the corner about even.
Yeah, I do. I think Bomac is overrated, so I really don't rate Bomac. But I do think no, I know. No, that's what I was gonna say. The guy you were talking about, Isao, I think he's very underrated. But like just on sheer experience,
that's right.
What Canelo's done, like literally like what he did between the Triple G fight to the first one to the second one, the way he adjusted from getting his ass beat by Floyd Mayweather and showing his adjustments on the fly against Lara, the adjustments that he made against not Rocky Fielding, but Callum Smith when he was struggling early in that fight. Yeah, I think the corner is easily goes to Canelo, and then too, you got the one that actually started him, you know, which is Eddie's dad, Jose Chepo. Like Chepo's still there in his ear, you know, like that's like a lot of experience right there.
Did I bring you up, Shelton?
Yeah, Shelton's right here.
Yeah, Shelton's here. I don't know if he's able to speak. I don't know what happened to me. It just bounced me. I guess I wasn't saying nothing that the algorithm liked.
Yeah, you was quiet for a long time.
Oh yeah, I had something I had to do, so I couldn't say nothing at that point in time.
But the good thing is coming up next week, so you know.
Yeah, right. We're gonna find out. No more. You know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
no more guessing.
And to be fair, bro, I'm gonna be fair to everybody. Like, I understand that a lot of people are a little disenfranchised with the announcement from Tank and Jake Paul. So a lot of the thrust towards this newfound
fell off again.
Yeah, this newfound fervor for that Crawford and Canelo fight is understandable because it's like, in a sense, pushback towards the nonsense that's taking place with Tank and Jake Paul. So, you know, we definitely got to put extras on this fight. So therefore, you know, how do we generate the interest by saying, hey, something wild. Canelo about to get
a big fight next weekend too, though. Monster and MJ. You remember?
Yes and no.
And everybody forgot about them because of Canelo and Bud.
Nah, ain't nobody forgot about it. It's just that the bigger fight out there, if it ever takes place, is going to be Nakatani.
Just think if it wasn't that same weekend, that would be the talk of the boxing. That's going to be a good fight, Monster and MJ. Who y'all picking in that one?
Monster.
Monster easy. Monster like easily like.
It's gonna be real easy. It's gonna be real quick.
I think it's gonna be real easy. I think it's gonna be real easy.
Yeah, I'd say by round 4. By round 4 or 5, he's gonna stop him.
So when do we get Monster and Nakatani?
That's the $1 million question.
They're talking about next year.
Okay.
Because Nakatani has expressed interest in fighting. In a way, said initially, I'll fight you, but you got to fight my brother, and then his brother preemptively lost. So that worked that out, and you ain't heard much of it. But Nakatani certainly calling him out because he knows that's the standard. Yo, this is the if I could fight him and I could beat him, then I could be the dude that they're pushing because they're pushing in a way hard. So I would be reason to be pushing because he's been out here for the most part, with the exception of a couple of fights, he's been out here dominating folks.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had no problem with Takuma Monster's brother.
Oh no, not at all.
I think Inoue's gonna have no problem with Nakatani. I think that's another easy one.
Oh man.
and not to say Nakatani is crap because he's not. Right. It's just like literally I think he's like a couple levels above Nakatani, bruh.
That's why we gotta get the fight, man, and that's truly reason why, man. I mean, no bull aside, bro. I rock with all these fighters, bro, because I know it's not easy. But that's why I think we got to have the Tank versus Core fight, the Tank versus Dev fight, Tank versus T.O. fight, Tank versus Keyshawn fight, and that rematch with Roach to precede all of that. Because we definitely got to see these fights because there's a lot of people that say a lot of things, but the fight in the ring bears out the truth. And sometimes the truth
Tommy,
is hard
these guys don't want to fight each other, bruh. They just talk, bruh. Like, I don't want to see those fights, bruh. Like, they're I want to see them, obviously. But I'm at the point where, I'm tired of this talk, bruh. Like, Devin fighting Core and vice versa and all that. It's like, who cares, bro, if it doesn't happen, bro? Like, there's other guys, that wait for their opportunities, too, bruh. Like, I like the Shakur fought Cepeda, bruh. Like, bro, that was good. It's top contender, bro. Like, if he can't get Tank, if he still wants to stay at 135, Murataya's right there, Andy Cruz is right there. Like, you got a lot of smoke at 135, man. Why is all just gotta be Tank, bro? Tank is fighting Jake Paul, man. Let him go fucking fight his little fucking fairy tale fight, man. I'm a Tank fan too. I'm a Tank fan too, but I'm tired of this shit.
Errol, what you think about Norman and Devin fight? Norman and Devin.
I don't know what to think, to be honest. I don't know.
On that one, decision.
I think I got Devin myself, I'm not. I think Brian Norman is he hits literally it's like I wouldn't say like Tank type of power, but he's got that. He's got that power. It's like one shot can change the power is crazy. That if you truly have power, it could change the momentum of a fight on a dime. You could be getting dominated for 10 rounds. And land that one shot changes the whole complexion of the fight.
The whole fight, yep.
So with that statement right there is the reason why I only say one name in particular fighting everybody. I don't really care about everybody else fighting one another because it really don't make sense for me. But that one reason is because they say he really can't get that power off on certain fighters, and I want to see if that is actually true. But he's right. You could literally change the course of that fight with Devin and Norman with the power shot. That's true. I think Devin in the right headspace, he's going to be tough to beat for Norman. I don't believe he is just quite yet there as far as his skill set and how to use it. I think he has skills. I just think he needs to apply them a lot more effectively. But I think that if Devin's not in the right frame of mind, then it's gonna be ugly for Devin because you can't be up in there running.
So this is too soon for Norman to be fighting a level of Devin. To be honest with you,
you got to strike while the iron is hot.
I don't think he's ready yet.
Hey, Kat, hold on. I just heard what you said. You said this is too early for Norman Jr. to be fighting a level that is Devin, right? Is that what you said?
He wasn't getting every boot. Remember? Yeah.
Boost people didn't want. No. Let's say that how it was.
I thought Norman was getting his biggest payday.
Let's say that how it was. Let's say that how it was. I'm a champion just like you.
Yeah.
We both got emailed these belts. Neither one of us fought for these belts. Right. You want me to come to Philadelphia and fight you and put my title on the line. I'm going to need a little bit more cash to do that. Or what you offered is cool. We'll just fight in Vegas. Now tell me what the problem is with that.
He just didn't want to fight.
No, it's not didn't want to. That's not that. No, that's not right. That's not right. You want me to come to your hometown and fight you and you don't want to pay me no extra money?
But Shelton, just think if we go up to Philly and beat Boots, he's the man then.
But if I go up to Philly and lose, I don't get nothing extra for it. No, I'll get some extra. Okay, if Boots is so confident and Boots is so good, why you want to fight me in Vegas? Why you want to fight me in Vegas?
Did he say he didn't want to fight him in Vegas?
They did say that. They said we'll take the 1.7. We'll just fight in Vegas. They didn't want to do that, but you wound up paying Karen extra money to come to Philly again.
That was a mandatory, wasn't it?
Well, you could have got out of that mandatory. You could have got out of that mandatory with that unification. You didn't have to fight that mandatory. Unification trumps mandatory.
It was champion. It wasn't mandatory.
Unification trumps mandatory, and you know that.
No. But I'm saying the mandatory does not apply in that situation because they're both champions.
It does apply because Errol used that shit for 4-5 years. Dropped all his mandatories, doing unification after unification after unification. So don't tell me it don't work like that because it does.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like a fight between two champions, mandatory does not apply.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we're gonna see November.
No. I'm going back to what you said. I'm going back to what you said, Karen. You said Norman Jr. is too early for him to fight a level that is Devin, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna see in November.
What level is Devin on? Devin ain't fought nobody at 47. Devin ain't done a goddamn thing at 147 pounds. So what level is Devin on?
Above Norman. He still levels above Brian Norman.
How? When Brian Norman did at 47 his whole career.
They gonna get in the ring. We will see it in the boxing ring.
Yeah, we gonna see it in the ring because he ain't never fought. There's nobody on Devin's resume that you would pick to beat Brian Norman Jr. No.
Who has Norman fought? They can box like Devin.
147-pound fighters.
Like who? Give me a name.
A bunch of them. Santillion. You think Devin could be Santillion? I don't.
Yes.
I don't think so.
But I agree with Cass, though. I don't think Brian Norman has fought anybody that can fight like Devin, but that doesn't mean that Brian Norman can't beat him.
Yeah,
that's what Devin got his ass mollywopped by a non-champion in Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, Devin's on this level. What level? What level is he on?
I'm just saying he levels above Brian Norman.
What level? He's not levels above shit. He's never fought at the division. How is he levels above anybody at the division he's never fought at? That doesn't make sense to me.
What does the skill level have to do with not fighting at a division? You got to fight somewhere first, don't you?
Okay, well, go up there and say, I want to try my hand up here. I'm a 2-division champion. I'm moving up to 47. But don't come here talking about I'm levels above everybody up here because you're not. We don't know that.
Don't you think?
You can assume that. You can think that. But no, he said that.
I said Norman.
But he don't know that. And you don't know that. Nobody knows if he's levels above Norman. Nobody knows that. You can assume that. Yeah, you can think that.
Devin didn't even earn that fight. Devin's getting a favor.
Yeah, he didn't even earn that. He haven't even fought in the division yet.
Hey, Shelton, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's some fighters at 154 that Boots is better than?
I think he might be better than Boychuk.
Now let me ask you another question. Has he ever fought
at 154? I don't know about that, Shelton.
Has he ever fought at 154?
No.
So how can he be better than Boychuk than using your...
Boychuk's not a champion. Brian, Devin Haney's going to fight the WBO welterweight champion of the world. I do not think Boots is better than Merchant. Hold on. I do not think Boots is better than Merchant Zaliev. I do not think Boots is better than Fundora. I do not think Boots is better than the African dude that just beat Tellens. I don't think he's better than any one of them.
Bring the goalpost back, Dalton.
I'm not bringing the goalpost.
Just move him.
I said Boychuk is not a champion.
A fighter haven't fought in a weight class, he can't be better than anybody there.
I didn't say he couldn't be better than anybody. I said he can't be better than the champion. He's not levels above the champion.
Why not? It depends.
We're going to find out, like you said. We're going to find out. I don't believe it.
That's all
I don't believe it.
We're going to find out. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, we're going to find out what level he's on.
And then we're going to talk afterwards.
We sure is. We sure is.
And Shelton, we got to remember that 154 is full of paper champions too, bruh. So, like, how much does the term champion like really apply to these dudes? All these guys are paper champions, bruh. Crazy.
Okay, but you know what you do? If you big bad Boots, go up there and beat them. Go up there and beat them.
No.
If they paper champions and they ain't that, go beat them.
That's exactly what you do. In fact,
That's a good point Shava just made. She said Randall was the closest to Dev, but I don't think Devin is levels above. He just has more experience. Yeah, that's a good point right there. Yeah. That might have
I
been
don't
what I
know.
was trying to. Oh, go ahead, Perro.
Winter Randall's one of the most overrated boxers I've ever seen in my life.
Salute.
I'm just hoping, Cass. I'm just hoping
Oh,
Devin
that's
is just talking. I'm hoping Devin is talking just to sell the fight. I'm hoping he doesn't go up there believing that he levels above somebody.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
Devin didn't say,
I think honestly,
Devin
Sheldon, I'm gonna be real with you.
We see how that turned out, Shelton, with Ryan.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm gonna be real with you. With regards to that statement, and he said it ever since. I think that fight with Ryan humbled him in more ways than one. I think that he has not yet recovered from that night. And deep down in his mind, he know Osterine and Nandrolone, whatever the X they said it was on there, didn't beat him. It was the fact that he was getting capitalized off of the things that he constantly does in a fight. He constantly dips down to the right and moves out that way. He constantly leaves himself wide open when he jabs, and he jabs like pulling the other arm down. And he constantly fights low when he's got the bigger advantage. And, I think that all worked into the favor of Ryan because that's where Ryan's strong suit. So that being the case, man, I was hoping to see the rematch. It was kind of odd for me to see that the rematch was the most important fight, yet it was number 10 on the list of the quote-unquote list of fighters that they wanted to fight. I'm glad we got this fight. I'm glad they got that fight because I believe they were being ostracized by the promoters.
You talk about Norman Till?
Yeah, I'm glad he got this fight now because it's a fight that. Well, let's not make no bones about the fact that I think first and foremost, Turkey wants to see him hurt. So that's why Turkey put up the cash for a fight like this because.
See who hurt? Devin?
T Hill,
Briefly, I don't want to see the fight, T Hill.
He wants to see him hurt, and I believe that's why he's sponsoring this fight because he wants to see him hurt.
He wants to see Devin hurt, T Hill?
Yeah, I believe so. So I believe he believes that this fight is a fight where Devin can get hurt.
What do you think? Hold on, T Hill. What do you think his issue is with Devin? What do you think his issue is?
I don't think it's with Devin. I think it's with Bill. I think most of the issue that Devin ever faces is because of Bill. I don't think it's mostly because of Devin. It's Bill in the way that he conducts himself. I think that's why they're having trouble getting fights because of Bill. I think Bill has ran his mouth against certain folks to the point where, they don't really want to mess with him. And certain people who have promoted his fights, they haven't really gained more than they put out. And then to have them come back and foul talk him through the media and do it. And I'm sure Bill just doing what he wants to do to make sure his son is at the forefront. So I'm not mad at that. It's just the reverberation of that is people don't want to mess with you now. So now he can't really deal with top rank unless Bob know they're gonna get the belt off of him. If he got a belt, Eddie definitely don't want to mess with him. He over there, throwing him under the bus and whatnot. So Boxer and what's the other one? The dude Warren.
Golden Boy with him.
Well, Golden Boy not messing with him at all. I'm talking about Frank Warren. What's theirs?
Last room.
Yeah,
Queensberry.
That's it, Queensberry. Boxer and Queensberry, they don't really want to mess with him because they saw what happened with Hearn. So he really stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Turkey know that. So, hey, I can get you a fight. I'm going to get you this dude that's been knocking everything out. You say you the man, go up in there. And then he goes with his usual spiel. You too small. You not on my level and all this other stuff. But you got to see that it ain't been the same conviction ever since that Ryan fight. He said, but now it's like a script, so to speak. So hopefully he come back with his mindset right. Because if he comes back with his mindset right, it'll be a good fight. If not, then it's not going to be a good fight at all.
But he got to stand and fight. For him to win this fight, he going to have to box at times, and he going to have to stand his ground at times and make Norman respect him. Because if he don't make Norman back up off him, he going to be in for a long evening.
I think that's a death sentence, though, Shelton. This
He has to
guy's
do
gonna have
that
to box
though.
from the outside, bruh. He's not gonna get.
Well, he knows
He's not
that
gonna get
Turkey done
respect.
already told him. But Turkey done already told him, if I see you running around that ring, I'm not fucking with you.
But they stuck with a rock and a hard place. It's either get your ass knocked out or never fucking fight with Turkey again. So I mean, come on.
But that's how Turkey's doing
He
it.
made that clear. He made that shit clear. I see you running around like you did in that last fight. I'm not fucking with you no more.
Exactly. Exactly.
I changed my pick then. Brian Ormer's gonna kill him.
I'm telling you like this. Please believe the only thing we are
out to please Turkey.
The only thing we ever.
Where do you work at, Cass? Where you work at, T Hill? Don't you got to do what the man that signs your check say?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I ain't disagreeing with you on that one.
Yeah,
that is true.
You got to do what that man say, or you ain't. I ain't got to do business with you. And Turkey made that clear. That's the one thing I love about that interview he did with TBV, because I don't like Ness. I think he's full of shit. But I love that interview that he did because he said, I don't need none of these dudes. I got fighters calling me every day. I don't need you.
But that's the bad thing about literally bending the knee to somebody like Turkey. Like your obsession with getting the highest amount of pay for any type of fight. Mm-hmm. Like you have to give up that. Literally, Devin doesn't have to listen to what Turkey says. Literally, Devin built his career by moving his own way. No, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's where he fucked up. That's where he fucked up.
Exactly. Don't take his money. Because here's the thing, right? Everybody today, and you know this, Puro, because we talked about this. All these dudes think like that because all these dudes want to be Money Mayweather. But nobody wants to be Pretty Boy Floyd.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be Pretty Boy Floyd. Nobody want to be that.
Because these fighters don't need Turkey's money. Turkey's money is green just like everybody else's money. Before Turkey was in boxing, Devin had his career already. Devin was undisputed before Turkey even was in the sport. So he didn't need Turkey. But the problem is, what T Hill just said to you, Puro, I guess you didn't hear it. Ain't nobody else fucking with Devin. They're not giving Devin no money. But that's what I was going to tell T Hill. I disagree that he's having trouble finding fights because he's never had trouble finding fights ever.
Okay, Spiro. So let me redefine it. He's having trouble finding fights for the price tag that he's usually commanding.
I disagree as well.
We could agree to disagree, but hey, Shelton, going back to that point that you were making on that show is where I believe the disrespect happened. I think that he got disrespected on that show, or Bill said some stuff that was disrespectful on that show, and Turkey not too soon thereafter called in because of what he was saying.
Yeah. Because Bill want to say things that makes him sound good to quote unquote the people, right?
People pleasing. Yeah, people pleasing.
I don't need him. Shit, I don't need Devin is a superstar. Devin don't need him. Oh well, but you was just on the phone the other day asking me for a fight. Okay, so you don't need me? Okay, do it on your own. Go ahead.
And I honestly believe the whole stuff that they did on the internet was to drum up a possible interest in the fight, and it worked.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I got somebody that okay, so bet I'll pay him to fight you. That's what I'll do. I you can fight him, but yeah, and then that not too soon after that, ain't no Tom and Jerry antics.
God. My bad. Salute to my good brothers. What's good, Cass, Mr. Show?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You already know I'm about to cook you, Mr. Show. You already know. Listen, Turkey didn't say all that, and all Devin Haney got to do is win. Once you get that currency behind you, which we all know, and Bob Arum will tell you, or Al Heyman will tell you, that's why they position their fighters for them belts. That brother get that WBO belt. He's in good position. He can get another fight for sure. But also on top of that, he already got another fight after this one lined up with Turkey. So what he better focus on is not getting his ass knocked out. Excuse my language.
What other fight does he have lined up?
Well, of course, you know that there was two fights after the Jose Ramirez. He was supposed to fight Ryan, and then they had a
Yeah.
trilogy depending on how that fight went. So now
Right.
the Ryan fell out. The Brian
Joe
Norman kind
McGregor.
of replaced it, and they didn't
Uh huh.
say it, but Devin still has a third fight on this deal. But if
Right.
it's a great fight or whatever, then they're going to do a rematch with Brian Norman. So
Right.
that's why they jumped on it so fast. The Normans because oh yeah, we about to lock in two fights, and they already feel like they're gonna stop
Hmm.
Devin. So they in a good position. But like you saying, Mr. Sheldon, Turkey, he's giving these dudes offers they can't refuse.
Right.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
and that's just where it is. But I would say this. Let me ask y'all this. And I kind of asked this, and I kind of know the answer, but I want to see what y'all opinion is. Do y'all think that Bill and Devin can do well, they don't got the opponent, so it don't make sense. They can't really even do another Oakland fight or a Vegas fight because they don't have access to the opponents. So I think that's why
You
they
go ahead
kind of
first, Cass.
he
Let
kind of
Cass go
beholden
first. You
to
go
him.
ahead, Cass.
What was the question? B3?
Can you foresee Bill and Devin? I kind of answered my own question, like doing an Oakland fight or a Las Vegas fight without Turkey because they saying that they need Turkey or they need Bob Arum, somebody to facilitate a fight for them. Could you
Yeah.
foresee them for doing a fight on their own?
Yeah, you answered it. With the right promoter, they can, you know.
Yeah, it's still gonna take somebody because they need the opponents. If you don't
Yeah.
got the opponents, you can't do nothing.
Go ahead, Puro. What
Yeah,
you think?
Turkey will get the opponent though, you know.
What was the question again?
I don't want to ask it no more. It's
He
rhetorical.
said with
Hey,
All right.
Do you believe that Devin has the star power or the wherewithal after these two fights he got with Turkey, if he wins, to come back and do another fight in the Bay or do a fight in Vegas? Or does he need the opponent and the promoter to make it happen?
Well, depends who he's going to align himself with. If it's with Turkey, he has to do
yeah,
what Turkey says.
that's
Like if it's
right.
with anybody else, it depends who he's fighting.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's it with the
I
right promotion. He
the thing
can.
about with Turkey is paying a premium for those guys to fight in Saudi. So, and I think he kind of wants to do like, for lack of a better term, gimmicky type things. Like he want to fight them in what's it, Alcatraz. He did like he pushed a core in a tennis stadium. So and then of course he did the Times Square event. So it
Yeah.
looks like Turkey is into like more so things that's gonna bring forth casual eyes
I
versus
think
like
that's more
ticket
Dana,
sales, which is
though.
Which is a
crazy.
I
good
think
thing.
that's
Which
more
is a good
Dana.
thing.
I think that's more Dana.
Also, I
Speak on it,
wouldn't be
Mr. Schultz.
surprised.
Why you say that, Chuck? You think it's more dangerous?
I think that's more Dana because Dana White, no matter what we
Big
think of
Dana. Mm-hmm.
Dana White is tapped in to the younger generation. He understands
Yeah.
the type of shit that they like.
Mm-hmm.
See, cats like me, you, and Thomas
100%.
Hill, even
Yeah.
my man here, that's all
Mm-hmm.
things. Is that you?
Nah, this B3. That's Piero if you
B3.
talking about, but this
B3,
B3,
B3, my
Mr.
man.
Schultz.
I
B3.
can't
What's
see.
good?
I'm old, man. I can't see.
You all good. You
But my
already know
man,
we family.
B3, people like us, we don't care about that gimmicky stuff. We don't care about it.
Right.
At
But
all.
we're not the audience that they're targeting. They're targeting
Mm,
19 to 35-year-olds. That's who they want.
yeah.
Excellent point. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, but
why
they
this
don't watch
gimmicky
YouTube
stuff
boxing,
works
bro.
for
They don't
them.
watch real boxing.
Well,
But
I
we don't
mean,
know what they watch because
Misfits.
nobody on this
No, they
panel
watch YouTube
is
boxing,
19
bro.
to
I'm
35.
telling you.
I
I'm being
can't
honest.
disagree. I
We
can't
don't know what
disagree.
they watch, Bureau, because nobody on this panel is 19 to 35. We don't do those type of things.
I can't
Everybody's old.
disagree with. I can't disagree with you there, Shelton. I definitely can't. I mean, that is the target audience. I mean, that's why that's the move. And we're talking about people who are mostly contacting or reaching people through the phone. That being the case, the tennis court incident, though, and also the Times Square, I think that's also about spending as least money as possible as well to put on an event.
Mm,
So I think that after splurging and some of the events not turning out the way they hoped, it's like let's recoup some of that by let's putting it in stadiums or in the park so that we won't have to secure that much of a fee for that venue. That being the case, answering your question, if DHP is truly real And if they put on shows in those fights and really do something like eye catching and scintillating, they can do, like you said, not a premium, but with their own promotion, put on something in their own hood and have their hood come and support them. I think they could do that for sure. But to make it a big event, I don't know if there are too many other promotional companies that's willing to endeavor to, partner up with them and put on something, because as part, of course, it hasn't been that advantageous. Like, and the measuring stick will always be for Devin, the Ryan Garcia fight, only because it juxtaposes against the Garcia fight with Tank. And that's just being fair with my thoughts.
And the fact that the guy that knocked you down 4 times just got beat by a guy who can't box.
Yeah.
Hey, but since you said that, Shelton, if he is the opponent, it might do well, because I think people really want to see that rematch. I know I do.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah, I think people want to see that. I do believe people want to see that. B3, you think people want to see that?
100%. That might be the only fight they want to see Devin in. Now this Norman fight is big, and that's because Norman is a puncher. But be honest, nobody wanted to see Devin versus anybody that couldn't punch.
That's true. Now I can't disagree with you there, sir. I cannot disagree with you there.
Because we already know what time it is. Now let me ask you this. Now I heard y'all a little bit. See here, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel like Devin, with this Norman Jr. fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he need to be absolutely smart and kind of just try to secure a win? Or do you feel like he has opportunities or avenue to actually fight Norman? Do you think that can he survive in that type of situation?
That's a good question.
That's an excellent question, bro. I'm gonna tell you, like Shelton said, I think in this fight, in order for him to win, he's gonna have to engage. I think it's gonna have to rival or mimic the performance that Floyd needed to put on against Shane Mosley, where he might have to take one, so to speak, just to see that he could take it, and then he's got to use his wherewithal. If he's truly levels above him, and he's levels above him with the acumen, then he can adjust and then take away whatever the strong suit of Norman is to take that and use that against him. Because that's what Mayweather was able to do. Because honestly, after the Ramirez fight, bro, he gonna get penalized, especially if Turkey has anything to do with it in the judging, because he got to pay them judges too.
Right.
And I saw, and I don't care what nobody saw. I saw Nova absolutely take over the fight against my man, and he get up on the ring and say, "You're 2 rounds down." And there was 3 more rounds, and he lost every single one of them. Yet it was a draw. So if Turkey is against you, like the old scripture says, if Turkey be against us, who can be for you, so to speak, man. So
Turkey get up there and say that?
No, he did. He did it against Nova.
He did that.
That was on live camera. He did that.
Hold on, Nova and Ray Ford?
That's crazy.
No. Nova and Hamza Shiraz. Shiraz.
That's crazy.
He's talking about the boy Adames.
Adames, my bad. Not Nova. I got it mixed up. Adames. Yeah, Adames. Adames and Shiraz. My bad. Shiraz and Adames.
Yep, I remember.
And that's what soured. That's why Carlos Adames has been so hard to work with lately, because he soured on that. He's mad about that. Because if you look at go get out of here, come on. Because you know that you can look at that and tell that Carlos Adames won that fight. He did win that fight.
Yeah, I totally butchered that one. I was talking about Adames.
Yeah, I remember that one.
He took that fight away from Carlos Adames. And that's why they say now Carlos Adames is hard to work with. He wants a whole bunch of money because he's mad. He's upset.
And also, Shawa corrected me. She said that New York adventure was an expensive one all the way around, and he was really Turkey was pissed off about that. I guess
you know how much
him
it
a
costs to
lot more.
block off the streets in New York City? You know how much it costs to seal that area off?
Yeah. I forgot they did have to block and seal everything off, so that was expensive. So that probably was a oversight on their behalf, though.
Yeah.
They probably didn't expect that. Oh yeah, there's a tariff for that. You trying to close things down? Well, we gonna shut it down. We gotta have a pretty
They
penny
did
on
their
that.
ring walk in Ubers, remember?
Man, that's the craziest, most expensive fight that has ever been brothers fighting in a
Yeah, that
street.
was crazy. Yeah.
These brothers was
Hey, but
outside in the
look,
street.
Yeah, pulling up.
so I gotta ask y'all on a serious note. I gotta ask y'all, how y'all feel about that, man? What do you guys think about this?
What say that again, Mr. Show?
Yeah. What was the show? What was the question?
As a fighter, what are you guys' feelings on Devin Haney as a fighter?
That's a good question.
See, the thing about, I think he's a Mayweather clone. Somebody that they tried, that obviously with Floyd Sr. and, growing up in that gym, I believe that they tried to build him up in a semblance of Mayweather. And I think for the most part, they did well. But the thing that what comes down to is this. For one, nobody is Mayweather, right? And two, it's just the physical tools, the punching power never formed.
Yeah.
So he doesn't crack. So you know what I'm saying? So he can't. It's certain elements to his fight game that he still has to develop. So I think they did to get to the top of the sport. I think all the training and everything Bill and Devin have done, I think they did well. But you can see his limitations there. That's all.
Mayweather had that Ali factor. He gonna find a way, Devin don't have that. I don't know if he gonna ever have that.
Yeah, that was an innate ability. Yeah,
well,
right.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this in Devin's defense. Now, I want anybody on this panel to correct me if I'm wrong. The only rounds Devin really lost was the rounds he got knocked down in. Am I right?
In the Ryan fight?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
So Devin can fight.
But with that being said, though, Shelton, there were about four lockdowns that didn't get accounted, though, so it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and that's what I'm saying is, you gonna go up here talking all this about levels above this and levels above that, and I truly believe that Brian North Jr. hits a little bit harder than Brian Garcia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He got more punch variety. Yeah. He got way more punch variety.
I'm gonna say he definitely hits harder than Ryan. I just don't think he hits as sudden as Ryan. I think Ryan's suddenness is what caught him.
Yeah, he's not as fast. But
because we
what that Ryan fight showed me is this. And what that Ryan fight showed me is this. That Devin's a tough kid, but if you catch him on the chin, he'll buckle.
Oh yeah.
Gotta catch him.
Yeah, I'm not disrespecting that. I think Devin got caught.
He buckled.
Gotta catch him though.
Yeah.
Gotta catch him.
Yeah, I mean, because Devin kept getting up, and that's the one thing I respect about Devin. He kept getting up no matter what. He kept getting up.
Yeah, that's to be commended.
Give him that.
Just the wherewithal. That's why I say, man, I wish people would train for moments like that. I know it's kind of hard to simulate the disorientation that you feel when you're buzzed, but you need to know off instinct what to do, because that's what kept Floyd alive and well in that fight against Mosley. He had the instinct to just, this is how I survive until I can get everything back together, and then I'm gonna learn from what got me in this position. But I'm gonna say this. Oh dang! I lost my train of thought. Goodness gracious! Goodness gracious!
I want to respond to Shelton. I disagree about that Devin won the ones he didn't get knocked down in.
That first round he lost.
That's what I'm glad Pearl came up, because while he disagreed with that, I'm not so sure. I disagree with you. I believe that he won every round, maybe with the exception of round 6. But definitely in that fight alone, The thing that changed, they show, you know how they always cut before the big fight, before the fight
Right.
that's coming in, they cut to each corners and what they're doing
Right.
in the locker room. You
Right.
see EJ training him to time that jab. That's what they were working on. And when that sucker hit, it was like they picked the right number for the Powerball on those rounds where he was able to effectively time that jab. And that's what the true difference in that fight to me was that right there. That once that beat the jab, he had no contingencies to fall upon. And Bill couldn't make no adjustments.
He was because Ryan was out of shape. Ryan was puffing and puffing. Ryan was tired, but he had little explosions here and there. And that's when he was catching them.
Yeah, and
this
was quote unquote the Ryan that was in the best shape of his life, and was a physical specimen and all that other stuff.
That bullshit.
I didn't see that either. I agree with that. He fought in like spurts, but in the rounds that Ryan didn't knock him down in, Devin and Ryan fought so poorly in that fight. Like the rounds could have gone either way. Seriously, like other than the exciting. Seriously, I'm not lying. Other than the exciting parts when he got knocked down or whatever, whoop-de-whoop, like literally, like the fight was trash. The fight was trash. It was trash. The fight was trash. In my humble opinion.
It was a garbage fight, no doubt.
What's up, Shawa?
Hey, Kaz.
Who is that?
It's Shawa. So,
hey, what's up, girl? How you feeling? I'm good.
I'm good. Now we ain't talking about Bud because I was ready to strangle you.
Why? Why you mad at me? Shawa, you can't be mad at me. You can't be mad at me because your man wasn't good enough. He just wasn't good enough.
You just had to come up. You must have something good for us.
Yeah,
he just wasn't good enough.
I ain't gonna lie. I always, whenever I see Shawa comment, I always, because she gives very great takes, and I was gonna have her to come up.
It's okay. I mean, it ain't like Errol lost to a bum.
I'm gonna move on to Devin.
We on Devin them now.
What do we think of Devin, right?
Go ahead, Shawa.
Yeah, go ahead, Shawa. I want to hear.
My thing about Devin is, I've always liked Devin. I just feel like when he was younger, he did have more dog in the sense that he took chances. He took chances that he does not take now. He's very cautious. He's had all these trainers and all these coaches, but no one's ever taught him to sit on a punch. Nobody's ever taught Devin how to turn over a punch. And if they did, like, he's not retaining it. That's my problem with him. So that fight with Ramirez, I wasn't truly upset because of the fact that I know he's in transition. I don't feel like he's afraid to fight. But the footwork, I like that because his footwork before was a little bit shaky to me. Like he was always ready to just take off. This time it was more lateral, right? So I was with that. I like that Nate Jones is with him because I like Nate Jones. I like his defense when he fought. I'm just looking forward to see what Devin's gonna do going forward if he can settle into his style. But he has to bring that jab back because that was beautiful always. But I'm just here to say he's gonna get hurt. He is absolutely gonna get hurt with this kid, and I don't like calling B a kid. He's a young man. It's a setup fight by Turkey. It is absolutely a setup fight, no question.
Who you got the stoppage, Shawa?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How much resistance you think Devin gonna put up in Shawa?
Okay, so I can't say why, but I'm gonna tell you there's factors. Turkey absolutely wants Devin to get beat. There's gonna be some situational things you guys are gonna see that night that will let you know absolutely he wants Devin to be a cornered rat. And even if Devin isn't a cornered rat, people don't really understand all the tools that Brian has. And I totally understand. We're seeing him come into his own. So, and if you really haven't watched his fights and kind of studied him, I guess you kind of don't understand the tools he actually has shown. But that child can fight, and he has a lot of things going people have no clue about skill wise. Two I will say, the man can cut off a ring,
just like you were the action,
and he can take away jabs. We know that jab was Devin's strong suit, right? Mm-hmm. And we also know that Devin is a mover, being that he's a pure boxer. So
right.
Those are just two. He has more. Just you. I know Puro said Quentin Randall is like trash, but watch what he did to Quentin in that fight, and that's really not a secret. I don't have to not say, but Quentin would be what you consider a pure boxer. He was pinning that man. You know, at first I was at the fight and I thought he was just Brian was smothering. I was
wait, Shower. You don't want to say what he was doing because you know Bill be listening in.
Do he? Yeah, he do be. But if Bill can't see this, you know, I won't. I'll keep it to myself.
No, go ahead.
Hey, he wouldn't be the first one to put a mole in the camp or something like that. So,
hey, he was pinning Quentin.
He does.
I'll say that, and if you can go watch the fight yourself, and if you'll see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. He was not smothering that man.
Yeah.
And the reality is, there's nothing Devin will be able to do to stop him. He may be small, but Brian is strong as you know what. So Devin may be strong now that he's bigger and gonna be at 47. Mm-hmm. He's sitting there calling that young man small. He might be small, but he's kind of mighty. He's definitely stronger than Ryan. But like Thomas said, he's just not. He don't have that snap with that
suddenness. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Got power in his left and his right. Like, look, it's a setup fight. It's a setup fight.
It is definitely that. I definitely agree with you.
I think the fight with Quentin Randall's going to serve him well against Devin. What he learned because of the style that Quentin Randall fights in.
Yeah,
it's going to serve him well.
Absolutely, and having to adjust to adversity as well too. You know what I'm saying? Just in case there may be some little bit of things that might be found difficult at first. He saw that, hey, when it was difficult, I found a way around it. And I found a way to maneuver my way to getting the victory. That being the case, like Shaw said, I don't know. I'm not privy to the information that she is, but I guarantee you there's stuff at play to make sure that this man gets up in there and has to fight. Not box, but has to fight.
He has to fight. But imagine what that looks like, because we know how Devin fights. And I don't call Devin a runner, because when you really look at Devin's fights, he stays within range. He's not a runner. The most lateral movement we saw was with Ramirez.
I agree.
So 100%. Yeah, you go back to his younger fights, he really used to sit and trade.
Oh, yeah.
That Moran fight yeah, for sure. That Moran fight, that bag was deep in that fight.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the Linares fight showed the best of Devin until he got clipped.
Yep, the Linares. So
yeah, he was on his stuff in that Linares fight too, but I think it showed back then that, he could take a punch. Now, granted, that punch happened late in the ring. I mean, right by the sound of the bell, but after he got back up, he didn't get touched like
He was a different fighter, Tommy. He became a different fighter.
You know something that bothered me
for sure
in the Ryan fight, and I think it's a little cocky of them. How come they didn't have any ice or cold water in that corner for Devin? Because when he got cocked on that first shot, he stayed stunned. That's what the ice and the water is, to try to snap you back out of that.
Yeah.
They didn't even have that in his corner.
Shower. They didn't have any ice and any cold water in that corner because they're stupid.
I'm just saying, it's cocky, man. It's not a good look.
No, it's not.
Bill might be trying to get this child hurt. That's all.
See, and that's where my major concern with Devin is the corner work, man. I mean, everybody who has had some substance in boxing that knows some wherewithal, they glean what they can from them and they discard them. You should keep them around. And in fact, in that Devin fight, there was one person in the corner saying I was giving advisement, but they weren't taking it.
You mean in the Ryan fight, right?
Yeah. And what did I say?
You said the Devin.
Hey, T. Hill, they didn't learn from Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas that you keep an inch well and some ice in the corner. They ain't learned from that?
Yeah, that fight, man, you right, you right about that. But I mean, him up night partying with Bobby Brown and all them eating
No, but
sushi off of
that
ladies
that
and
ain't got nothing to do. I understand the 14 women. I understand all that. The cocaine all night. I understand all that. That ain't got nothing to do with your corner having an inswell and some ice in that corner.
I feel you. You right. I don't know if they were historians back in the day like that right now, but they learned from that Ryan fight. I guarantee you that.
Hey,
Just
look,
seeing.
if you're smart nowadays, you go get you a mask like the Russells got, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, this is why I say I want Shawa to give her points because she said something very profound. In that Ramirez fight, we didn't see a jab. Why didn't we see a jab? Because, like I said, 420 left a lasting impression on that man, far beyond the ring. He's still fighting ghosts of that. And that time that I got beaten in that fight, a lot of people gonna dress it up with in Halloween as Nandrolone or what's the other one?
Ostarine.
But the fact that the jab got beat with the hook changed the whole course of that fight. And it didn't let him fight like he normally fight against Ramirez, who was there for the taking.
So you think he's scared now? You think he's fighting ghosts? Is what you're trying to say?
Nah, see, you getting in that ring, you not scared. I'm sorry.
Lack of not holding the freaking phone, and he kept falling. He
to
kept
his
falling
right.
kind of into it to the right, exactly.
Yeah,
that's how he started getting hit with the right, because he's falling to the right, and then Ryan was coming with his right over. That's how that jaw ended up like that. Like, it's a lot of things that just be going on with the Haneys. They're questionable.
And I think we also. Sorry,
go ahead. No, you go ahead, Pearl, because I was gonna say some nonsense anyway.
I was gonna say also, like, I think for me personally, like, the most of the fight, Ryan fought like trash. I also I have to remind myself to give him credit that he set a lot of those shots up by baiting out his jab and like literally timing it where as soon as he threw it, he let his left hand he let his left hook go, and he has hand speed, like he has the fastest hands in boxing.
I wouldn't be mad at that statement.
See, and that's where my argument comes in when y'all telling me about all this levels above and boxing IQ. If he making the kind of mistakes that Shaw was pointing out, then where's all that at?
Here's the question: why the heck did Ramirez fight the way he did?
That's a good point.
Because Ramirez is old, and Ramirez showed up for a check, and Ramirez lost his last two fights prior to this fight.
How come Garcia was not in his behind like he is any other time with his fighters?
Because I can tell you, I can answer that for you. Because the trainer knows what he got, and he knew that night what Ramirez gave him was all that Ramirez had.
No.
Hey, Shelton, I hear what you're saying, and I'm inclined to believe that, but I did have one of them fighters say that they was in the fight, and your boy Turkey personally came to him and said, go to the less. Go to the less. don't go up in there and celebrate on the style on these people, though. I need for them to look a certain way. And if that is true, if that is true, the fix is on against the Haneys, bro. Because I honestly,
let's be honest. Let's everybody on this panel. Let's just be 100% honest. Ramirez ain't been shit since Josh Taylor whooped his ass.
That's not true.
Come on,
who he beat?
Way better.
Who he beat? Since Josh Taylor whooped his ass in Fresno, who he beat?
Didn't he beat Richard Coleman?
Everybody but Devin and what's that other guy?
Barboza.
Exactly. What's that other guy? Exactly.
Yeah. Barboza.
And who's the other guy?
What did he look like in the Barboza fight, though?
Barboza's an excellent fighter.
Yeah, he gave T all he can handle.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
What did Ramirez look like fighting Barboza?
Oh, he looked like shit.
He looked the same as he did versus Devin.
Stir-fried shit.
I gotta watch that again because I don't remember that.
He said in the kitchen like the stir fry.
I don't know.
That fight was close. Like, it just Barboza did better.
Maybe that explains why Barboza looked so bad against Teal, didn't it? Wow.
No. Tio had effectively beat him in his mind. Like he had got him worked up.
Tommy got it.
From the slap.
Not just the slap, but everything he did was to get him. See, T.O., like, he do things to get you out of sorts because he wants you, so to speak, disenfranchised in the ring. Because at that point in time, your mind. Because you remember he walked into the ring with Martin, and Martin had him over there talking about, "Do I still got it?" Martin.
Yeah,
that was a moment of honesty with himself.
Yeah, because he knew Sandor Martin whipped his ass. He knew that.
Definitely. Shout out Sandor Martin.
I lost money on that.
Barboza can't do what Devin did because Barboza's fan base expects him to fight.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I mean, we already know Barboza's a boxer, but he stood in there. He stood in there with T.O. and got hit a lot. He didn't fight like Jermaine. He didn't fight like Sandor.
He didn't
fight like himself.
He didn't fight like himself, and that's where I agree with Tommy.
Like himself.
And that was my point.
Yeah,
he was there to give a show.
T.O. needs a certain type of fighter to look good, and he's not. If he takes that Shakur fight, he's not going to look good.
T.O.'s at his best when people are coming at him, and he was fighting a dude that doesn't fight that way. He wants, like, Barboza wants people to come at him. And that's why he
exactly. So what he gonna do?
And that's exactly why I said if he takes the Shakur fight, he's not gonna look good. Because the one thing we know about Stevenson is we don't know anything else. Stevenson is gonna fight his fight, no matter who's in that ring.
That's a fact.
Man, that's gonna be such a wash. It's gonna be pathetic. You know, then he gonna find out why Bob wasn't putting him up in there with the fighters he said he was favoring. You know what I'm saying? He didn't understand.
I think it's gonna be a horrendous fight.
You say what?
Is that fight official? Security T.O.?
No. I don't know. I don't
think not.
Well, Cash, you know my talking point and how I've always maintained Bob ain't trying to let another belt walk away.
Right.
And he's damn sure not gonna try to let it walk away to the person who took one of his belts from him.
Already.
Nah, yeah. You gotta realize he stopped messing with and hear me out. He stopped messing with Shakur the moment he pressed for that fight with Valdez.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
At that point in time, he was done with Shakur because Shakur was trying to go the Crawford route to get that fight. Like, yo, I want to.
Remember?
Yeah. He's about having enough belts so I can have enough of these people come in here and become champions and fight for these belts. He don't want to consolidate no belts under his banner because that means now I only got one fight to make you a champion. But whereas if I got multiple belts, I can.
You know what we ain't talked about?
What's that?
We ain't talked about the Mason fight.
That is a great card.
Sam Noakes.
That whole card is great, man.
I don't know Sam Noakes.
Oh, before we go on Sam Noakes, and Mason and that whole card, bro, I'm gonna say right now, dog. I don't know what fan base been thinking Devin ain't fought. I only never seen him not fight in one fight, and that was that recent fight with Ramirez.
Yeah.
The card got Bam, Matias on it, Vaturbiev. Wow.
Oh, before we go on to Valdez is returning Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's back.
But the sad thing is, Shower, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
It's on ESPN Spanish.
Yeah, he's fighting tomorrow.
And he's back with Manny Robles. I definitely.
Boxeo. He's on Boxeo ESPN.
I guess so.
He sure is.
He's isn't he fighting Pituflo?
Medina.
Yeah, he's fighting Pitufo. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be lit. He gave Henry LeBron a lot of work within that last matchup.
I'm sorry. Wait. What was no, he's not fighting Pitufo. Pitufo's fighting Sugar Ramos.
He's for Sugar, yeah.
Oh, my bad, Shower. Which fight were you talking about?
Richard Medina. Oscar Valdez is fighting Richard Medina.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, you're right.
What's that gonna be on? What network is that gonna be on?
Huh?
What network is that gonna be on?
I thought it was ESPN Espanol, but it looks like it's just regular ESPN Plus. It says
ESPN Deportes. That's what I heard.
Deportes.
Yeah, they're fighting in Mexico, Nogales, Mexico.
Yeah, they're fighting where he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nogales, you're right. Don't know.
Well, shout out to the former champ, man. It's good to see him back in the ring.
Yeah.
Oscar, how old is Oscar now? 34, 35?
Yeah, but I think about
34.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar better do something, man. He ain't never gonna sniff no more titles, man.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, he had his title
It's about
run.
done for him. It's about done for him. He gonna be the next JoJo Diaz.
JoJo did good.
still at
against,
130
Nah,
though.
he stay. Now you know he'll still be a name. I think he can still get a fight at 130.
Yeah, Oscar's still at 130.
He would
Yeah,
be
I
food
think
for
he get a
anybody
name.
that's a belt holder at 130.
It's all about who they pick. He's going to be selective. And, he's going to try to find a champion that suits him.
So which champion you see him having the best success against? I'm just being honest.
He's at 130, right? I think Oshaki's his best shot.
Shoot, no.
I think Osaki
He looking for that shock value. I see. I ain't mad at you.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
up.
Yeah, I think
They
Osaki
said they-
beats the brakes off him.
Everybody
then
thinks
again,
Shaq the weak link.
He said
Not
best
everybody.
I don't know.
A lot of people.
Not everybody thinks that.
I'm gonna be
just
real
think,
with you.
I
That
don't know,
fight,
because this fight he got coming up, I think it's 50-50. I think him and Cool Boy is a 50-50 fight.
I think he's going to eat up Cool Boy and spit him out.
Nah.
Me personally.
He gonna have a fat cap. I know
It's
that.
no longer Scooter. Though. I mean, Cool Boy. He's Scooter. He said
Scooter.
he.
But Scooter was a chubby little Scooter yesterday. If he got a fat camp coming, Oshaki about to beat that man.
I think he's going to mess him up.
We gonna see.
And I was rooting for Fulton until I saw his little butt yesterday. And
That
you know
little dude yesterday, that little dude you saw yesterday, that press conference probably weighed 140 pounds, if that.
Okay, but what
She said the way the 140 was sitting on his frame doesn't agree with him.
Did you see his belly?
10 pounds ain't nothing to cut. 10 pounds ain't nothing to cut.
He about to have.
And he got all the way till November to cut 10 pounds. He's gonna be all right.
Come on,
He's gonna be fine. He got all the way till November to cut 10 pounds. He's gonna be fine.
Yesterday, I was like,
Honestly, he better respect Shock though, cause Shock ain't no joke.
but you know what?
I think he respects Shock. I think he just talking yesterday. I think he respects Shock. He know what he getting into.
Oshaki cannot be waiting around like he did against Hernandez and trying to beat somebody.
Like he did against Conceição, either land on the ropes like you, Muhammad Ali, trying to rope it.
Yeah,
he got robbed in the first one. To be honest, in my opinion.
Hey, Cass, he got dark tent in the
robbed
house.
himself for using that dumbass strategy, Piro. He robbed himself.
Yeah, it was reading.
I don't know if he robbed himself, bro. Because like literally, you gotta fight the fight. Like I said with Errol and Bud, you gotta fight the fight that you need to fight with versus the opponent in front of you. You can't fight the same style every single time.
And them
Get
punch
off the
stats
ropes
was
and go
way
fight the
crazy
man.
though. He won.
Get off the ropes and go fight the man.
I think Robson landed like 36 punches.
Some aggression, effective aggression.
Hey, I think he did throw more punches, and I know you got a question down there, Cass. I think he did throw more punches. I don't think all of them landed though. I thought Shock won the fight, bro. I'm sorry, I really did.
Yeah, I thought so, but yeah, they had the rematch, so that was a good thing, you know. And then Shaq got
But
that one, so.
the only way I feel that way is because I'm from the West Coast, you know, and UCLA was a big power, and their coach, the legendary coach John Wooden, he said never mistake activity for achievement. You could look busy as hell, but if it ain't doing nothing, then you just busy for no reason at all. And I thought that a lot of those punches, it looked good, but a lot of them weren't good. That's how I feel about it.
A lot of them didn't land.
But the judge is supposed to be.
I thought they gave Conceição that fight because they felt bad about robbing him against Valdez. I think that's what.
That's a good point.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You don't think
he got robbed? No, you mean he got robbed versus Navarrete?
Reservation. He beat the brakes off Valdez, and they gave him that fight. They gave Valdez that fight. He beat the brakes off Valdez.
He beat the brakes off Valdez. He did. I remember. I'm thinking back on it. He did whip Valdez.
He beat the brakes off him the first 5 rounds, but after that it was all Valdez.
I can't argue with Pedro Serra. He gonna watch his guys.
No, I was just saying it's just like it was beautiful what it was doing to Valdez in the first 5 rounds, but then like he mailed it in. Like he thought he had it won.
See, I remember now. You right. You got a great point.
Took
I
his foot
remember.
off the gas.
Yeah,
He definitely took his
like
foot off.
Ramos did that versus Lubin. Like it's like I don't. I hate when fighters do that, man. You just give the judges reason.
I know.
Thank you for telling the truth about Ramos and Lubin, because I
know.
was
Put on my guy. Put on my guy. He called it like he said for sure.
I was rooting for El Mano, and Lubin did it. He did it.
You think he pulled it off?
Yeah, I think Lubin robbed him. But the thing is that Jesus gave him a reason.
He did.
Yeah.
He let off the gas, like Prudhoe said.
I don't know if Rob was the correct term. I think he could have won the fight, but I thought that he also, like you said, man, you know, you starving and you giving a plate of chicken. It better not be nothing on that bone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
somebody else gonna pick the.
I just don't think Ramos is what they say he is. They say Ramos is all. I don't see that.
Hey, he was chubby yesterday too. Just for
Hey, shout out to the late great Denny Green. He was who we thought he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't think that Ramos is what they say he is.
See, me, I believe Ramos is top notch.
I think he's good.
He's getting Shane Mosley Jr. Coming October. What y'all think about that?
I like it.
But Shane Mosley Jr. ain't fought in 2.5 years, so I don't know what to think about that.
Shane Mosley Jr. be in some fantastic action fights, but he be getting action pushed upon him. So if he's getting in there with somebody that's known for giving people the business, it could be a long night for him.
I'm not even.
Yeah, I just don't know. When's the last time Shane Mosley Jr. fought?
I don't remember. I think Gabe. No.
He fought Daniel Jacobs. I know it was.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Gotta be.
I don't know what Shane Mosley Jr. got, and he's got to be what 34, 35.
Yeah.
He's
on that range.
And that's the thing, though. He's been getting better. Like he's been getting better fight.
He has been getting better.
In activity, it's like I don't know. Yeah,
His last fight was Danny Jacobs in July of 24.
Okay.
And we in September, October, November of 25.
About a year.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it works for Bud. So you never
Come
know.
on, man.
You better get
when
on
did
that
Ramos
plane.
last fight? When did Ramos last fight?
It's probably been
Guido Scram, and that was March of this year.
Yeah.
Because remember
he
he
gonna
had
beat the
that
shit out of
Nazario fight. I don't know why they did that.
He gonna beat the shit out of Mosley Jr. He gonna fuck Mosley Jr. up.
He gonna have a second too.
Man. I think so.
He said, "Oh, Shaw, he came on that weight overweight too."
He's gonna have a fat camp too. He was looking all fat and sweaty yesterday too.
Junior must
Shaw, I hate to tell you this. I don't know who he's going for, but he gonna beat the shit out of Mosley Jr.
He knows. He knows.
But now Fulton and Oshak, I think that's so much closer. But I already thought, I told you I like him, Mono. I think he's gonna beat him too. He's still chubby. That don't change it. He's chubby.
What's up, Jerome?
Chubby, he could be fat. He's still gonna beat the shit out of him. That dude ain't fought in over a year. He gonna beat the shit out that man.
I'm sorry for doing this, Cass, but I gotta ask Mr. Sheldon, what you think that layoff gonna do for Bud?
Nothing. Bud been fighting once a year for the last 5 years. How's it affected him? You tell me.
He's been doing fairly well, but a lot of people beg to differ that Majimov gave him some work.
Yeah.
So
They can say what they want.
That was on the year out the ring.
I
thought it was 9-3 myself.
That could very well be true, but he's not fighting Majimov on September 13th.
1 week from tomorrow.
You said it was 9-3 Madrimov?
Well, no.
Oh no, Bud for sure.
No, I said that.
I had it.
They said
I had a 7-5 Madrimov for a draw.
He said that.
That was D3 who said it was 9-3.
Some people say that. Some people say that Madrimov gave him some work. Maybe he did, but he's not fighting Madrimov on September 13th.
Yeah. I feel like Canelo, man, this is going to be a tall task, man. This is going to be a tall glass of water.
I got to kind of agree. I got to kind of agree with Bomac in the barber chair. It's not going to be as tough as you think. It's not going to be as tough as you think.
No, bro. Bomac no Cheetos, bro.
Yeah, Bomac Barbershop series is gonna be legendary, man. But shout out to Bomac.
When you gonna ask me something, Shaw?
I was just gonna say thank you for allowing me to come up here. I'm gonna get off and go.
Yeah, that's her room to get off. She ain't trying to hear no dang Bud talk at all.
We're talking about Cheetos, Shaw.
I don't like Cheetos either. You can't set them things on fire. You don't need to eat them.
I just think it's extremely overrated. Thank God for Etal.
I appreciate.
We're gonna get ready to get out, but I mean, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, this is a fire show.
Panel, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I like this shit.
And we can do it respectful, man. I love that.
Yes,
My bad
I
for
love it.
ending the show, Miss Shaw. My bad for ending the show. I didn't bring it up.
I ain't really running off from no Bud talk. B3. I just say, you know.
She know Bud gonna beat. She know Bud gonna beat that dude. She know in her heart Bud gonna beat that dude up.
No, actually, I don't. I actually don't.
I don't know how to just do, but it was so good. I just couldn't end it, man.
Yeah, I actually don't have a dog in that race, to be honest. I don't like Bud or Canelo, to be honest with you, but I am excited for the fight. Absolutely. Yeah. The mechanics of it, I can't wait to see how it plays out. But no, I don't have a dog in that race. I think either one of them can win.
Well, I got a dog in the race, and he's a greyhound. And that bad boy, it's called the Judges. So in order for that boy to win, he gonna have to beat him like Bevel or worse. Cause you already know, and that's what I'm glad you said that, man. Going back to the dev stuff, just remember, we are really worldwide when it comes to the scope of things, and us as people, we are meant to be entertainment and entertainment alone. And when you lose your entertainment value and you step on toes, they're going to make entertainment of you. And that's why I say what I say about them trying to set or line your boy Dev up. I think they're really trying to line him up. Yeah, and if he don't get the job done, the next fight will be somebody who will probably get the job done. But shout out to Debo Dev out there snatching chains, titles, and everything else. Shout out to Frill Bill. And shout out to the Normans, man. We gonna get a great fight. Shout out to my man Canelo. Hopefully he got that green sauce on extra deck to in the fight next week with the Snacksational one. My man Bud Crawford. Shout out to Victor Conti for injecting himself up into the sport once again. That boy is good. Shout out to Victor. Hey, but more importantly, shout out to the Box Historian, Cass Sports, my man, always giving us a platform where we can discuss boxing and discuss it openly and have differing opinions. Shout out to the people who came and blessed us with their presence this day in the chat and on the panel. Shout out to the lovely, oh so talented Shawa. We appreciate you and your take. Shout out to my main man, Puddle Sword. From that old South, always giving us nothing but the actual facts. So shout out to B3 Pigs by trade, man. If you want to find out where to place your money to make your money rise and sparkle and bubble, besides anything else, you can always go to B3 Picks and he'll show you how to do it. Post fight, pre-fight, during fight. Shout out to the great brother, the good unks, Shelton Moore, man. Always a pleasure hearing your takes, man. We know sometimes they've seasoned with a little bit of pepper and salt. Sometimes people got aversions to pepper and salt, dog, but it'll tenderize you nonetheless, man.
Salute, Shelton.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate
great,
I'm biased. I ain't gonna never say I ain't biased. I'm biased. I want
to beat the
brakes off that nothing. But we'll see. That dude can fight. Canelo Alvarez can fucking fight. We gonna find out on September 13th.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm like, Shower. I'm actually happy to see it because of the mechanics of things and how styles contrast, and what one does strong, other one does weak, and what one does weak, the other one does strong. So it should play out very well. And I just will remind you that the worst whooping he got in his life, shout out to Puddle, the worst whooping he got to his life was to a black fighter. So as was the case with Charlo. He coming in some shape, dog. He ain't trying to have that aesthetic no more. So it's gonna be a great fight, dog. And shout out to the barbershop, barbershop commentary, like fireside chats. We got barbershop convos, and it's a lit, especially when Cheetos is on deck, because you can't like them Mickey Frickies up.
You still there, Tia? What happened?
All right, y'all.
I'm done talking because I got put over there. Put it over there.
He bring up all these champions. Ain't none of them dudes can fight for Canelo though, Puro. They can't fight for him. They can't help.
Put on my God.
Hey, all I got to say is 1 week from tomorrow.
No, 1 week from today, right? Isn't today Friday?
Is it on Friday?
No, they fight Saturday, bro. They fight on the 13th.
They fight on Saturday. Okay, they fight Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking it a fight at a time. I am gonna enjoy tonight. I'm gonna enjoy tomorrow, Thursday. You know, hey, I love it all.
Robots TV.
MJ the very next day after Bud and Canelo.
I will enjoy that when the time comes. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying it. We gonna have the day.
That's right. That's right. One day at a time.
Yo, bro, shout out to them too.
I'm anticipating on the Canelo undercard. Bohachuk versus what's his name?
Brandon Adams.
Yeah.
Rematch. I've been looking forward to that one.
Bohachuk and who?
Yeah, I gotta go with, I gotta go with my boy Brandon Adams. He from Watts, so I gotta go with him.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going for my boy.
Hey, Watts in the building. Shout out to the Towers, hey, bro. But I'm gonna tell you right now, your boy Bohachuk.
He's actually from Linwood.
Don't sleep on Bohachuk.
Bohachuk coming with purpose in this fight, dog. He felt like he let that other one slip away.
Man,
Gonna be Lester.
The Michael Fox fight?
Who let it slip away? He got knocked out.
Got knocked out.
Who you say, Shower?
Martinez and Mbili is the fight at night for me because I love Martinez.
Yeah.
Talk about it, man. You know, I like.
We gonna find out if Lester is what they say is. Cause we know what Mbili is.
Yeah, but look, Lester and Gongora and Billy Gongora, he did it better. I just got it.
Hey, Shelton, we gonna find out if he was who we thought he was.
Hey, Cash, who y'all got in the Son of a Legend fight versus Callum Walsh?
Who?
I don't know.
Callum Walsh versus Vargas Jr.
I don't know. Neither one of them ain't
bro. I love me some Vargas bloodline. I love the bloodline, bro. I love Vargas himself, though. I think that they kind of like they kind of like fought him a little bit too aggressively in his career. They should have brought him along slower, and he would have been a longer lineage for it.
You talking about the pops? You talking about Fernando Senior?
I'm talking about Fernando.
Yeah, they did it wrong. They did it wrong. Yeah.
But Walsh. Man, that's gonna be a tough task for him. Now, if it was Emiliano, I'd be screaming Emiliano because even though he's deficient on a lot of things with his defense, his offense is dynamic.
That's a stiff test.
I think Junior is his son. I mean, his pops, but without all the gifts. I believe he got all the heart, all the dog, but just not the gifts. Okay. And you know, if he gets hit, it's gonna get ugly for him.
Yeah, Fernando was a warrior, the father.
Fernando.
And who was moving Fernando's career?
Fernando Senior.
They are Fernando.
Dang, his dad.
Fernando Senior. He's not allowing none of that. What happened to him? He's not allowing
No. I know that. What I'm saying, who was moving Fernando Senior?
Oh, the father.
Yeah.
Oh, they top rank. They all top rank fighters. They all top rank fighters.
Big G was
Big G's. Oh wow.
My father, yeah.
Yeah, they did him dirty, bro. He had way too much talent for them to go into the.
Did Fernando go
got him paid.
Golden Boy when Oscar opened up toward the end?
What?
Did Fernando go to Golden Boy? Yeah, he did.
Toward the end of his career, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Golden Boy.
I remember.
On that last thought that you did.
Because that was a big thing. How he hated each other. How him and Oscar hated each other. Oscar signed him anyway. That was a big thing when it happened.
Yeah, they had.
The massive respect between them two, bro. I'm gonna say the reason why his career got that moved that way was because of De La Hoya. De La Hoya was the Golden Boy. I mean, he was the boxing hung on his shoulders, and this dude, for sure. But Fernando, it didn't sit well with him, and him being a true bred Mexican warrior, he like, man, fudge him. I'm what you should be building this sport off of. I should be the face of this company. And they said, okay, so if you want to be the face, then this is what you're gonna have to do. And they put him through the gauntlet.
No, he wasn't with him early.
Well, see, but here's the thing, right? This is the thing that was going around in boxing circles at that time, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody knew how talented Oscar De La Hoya was, but they also knew what Oscar De La Hoya was doing with the nightlife and all the other stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
Last chance for the last dance.
Yeah, because Oscar ain't just got on coke. Oscar was on coke way back then.
Have you seen his last interview though, Shelton? This motherfucker denied he was ever on coke.
We've seen him recently with his eyes all glassed and popped out his head.
That man
the
got
Ryan
up in
Devin fight. Him and Mario Lopez were like suited out their mind.
shower. That man did an interview with fishnets and stilettos, bro. You can't tell me you was not on none of that nonsense.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing, people. If you was never on coke, why did you let? Is it Showtime? No, it's one of these channels. Prime. They have a whole documentary on Oscar De La Hoya. I think it's HBO, and they talking about your coke use and all that stuff back in the day.
Yeah, right.
So if you was never really on coke, how come you didn't sue them people for making that documentary about it?
Exactly.
Hey,
Social media is
but-
crazy. Like motherfuckers just say anything on social media.
Okay,
I watched the documentary.
Me too. I cried in that documentary.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm like, what? Oscar been doing coke that long? Damn.
The part about his mama hit me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, Sheldon, what type of dog you got?
Oscar was probably at the
I got
Olympics.
2 Yorkies, and they making me sick right now. They get on my goddamn nerves.
Do you breed them?
No. These are my personal. Both of these are emotional support. The VA gave them to me.
All right.
All right, that's what's up. I was hoping that you might have bred them. I was going to try to get a pup from you.
Oh, you a veteran?
I know somebody who does, though. If you're looking for one, I can give you their number. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put my number in the private chat. You give me a call. I know somebody.
I gotta go get my daughter.
I've been in New York, but I got
See you guys later. Bye bye.
All right, Errol, appreciate you.
Hey, before you... Pearl was supposed to give his last words, bro. I didn't turn this to a different subject, man. I'm going to let everybody get their last words.
Yeah.
my last words again. I'll just go back and say thank you, Kaz. I'm glad that I've stuck around now and I'm coming back again because I enjoyed this a lot.
Appreciate
and I appreciate you for having me up here. And even Sheldon Moore today. Boy, I thought I was going to have to strangle him in the beginning and I want to hug him now.
Yeah, Sheldon, my God. I love you some Sheldon.
I just give an honest take, you know?
You don't know. You've been on my panel before, Sheldon. Once.
Yes, I have. I've been on the panel before. Yes,
you can come back. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey,
All
T Hill, my number in the chat, bro. Just give me a call. I got you. I'll hook you up.
Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're going to take us out, man. I appreciate all of y'all, man. Let me tell us.
Thank you, Cass. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
And let me say this real quick, Cass.
T Hill, B3, and Puro. Okay, B3, go ahead.
I appreciate everybody. Listen, I'm actually tomorrow, like 11 or around 11 o'clock, 11:30, I'm going to be doing a college football show. Me and Marky Dan going to be on there. So,
right on.
So definitely, if y'all pull up at B3 Picks TV, we're going to be having a good time, watching college football, talking college football. Absolutely.
I'll be there. 11 o'clock tomorrow, B3.
I'll be there. I got to see who playing tomorrow. I know the Michigan-Oklahoma game is the biggest game tomorrow, I think.
That's the biggest game tomorrow. Yeah, that's the night game.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, bro. I see all y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, Sheldon. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, Cass.
All right, B3. Appreciate. Always a pleasure.
Always.
All right, T Hill. I'm done. It's on you, brother.
Hey, well, once again, boxing was at the forefront. Brought to you by none other than the Boxtorian, Cass Sports. We appreciate you coming and rocking with us, and conversing with us in the chat, coming through, showing your support, showing that boxing can be so much more than a spectacle. It can be something great in our lives and something that helps us pass the time, man. And truly, we had a day where we could pass the time in a good way and discuss the thing that we love so much, and that's boxing. Shout out to all the people that showed up today.
Yes.
Shout out to the nephew, Jarrell Hadi. Shout out to Autism Boy, Cottage 81.
Okay.
Shout out to my main man, Al Booger, my main man, Soraya Esreal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Louis 4500, my man, Louis 4500 block.
Yeah.
Shout out to All Things, Never Small Things.
What?
Shout out to Michael Ray II. Shout out to Victoria. Blessings to Victoria Thomas. Blessings to also Shawalaya. Thank you for gracing us with your presence on the panel. Just Do Boxing's top through. Shout out to the great brother. We will be going over there promptly. I apologize for the noise in the background, but we having a conversation going on too. But much love to Zach B.
Yeah, you did. You told
much
me
love to the main
I'm just saying, but you
man.
You must have told her.
Cass Sports the Box Story. Shout out to the champ, Jersey champ, Ray Patterson. But
how would she know to bring
we want to appreciate B3 for coming up and gracing us on the panel. Uncle Shelton Moore for coming up and gracing us on the panel. Shawala Ya for gracing us on the panel. And Puddle Sword. Everything here is to uplift and to bring light in a positive way to the sport of boxing. And then we thankfully got somebody who will do that, who will make sure that no matter what, boxing gets spoken in a highlight and gets covered in a manner and fashion which does it justice and gives it honor. Because these people who do what they do to put on the fights, and these people who do what they do to get in the ring to make the fight what it is, are special indeed and deserve special recognition. So shout out to Cass Sports Box Storian. Shout out to you guys coming through. If you are not a member, we encourage you to sub to the channel. Hit that like button. And if you like what you've heard today, bang that Cash App. But always remember that he is 2 o'clock shorty. He will be back Monday through Friday to give you more about this sport that we call boxing. You are more than welcome to enjoy. You are more than welcome to join, and you are more than welcome to participate, whether via chat or the panel. Come let your voice be heard. You guys have a great weekend. God bless. And we out.